Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. I'm your host, Cooley. Tonight is debate night. We got a 1v1, myself versus Tyler from Jubilee. Let's get into it. And y'all see the suit too, man. Listen, new studio, new podcast, by the spirit, not by the letter. Bro, we can go verse for verse all day long. Doing new things. Men are okay with understanding the reality that we are in competition with one another. But you ladies think that you're special. You are in comfort. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. I'll fly you out here and we can do it in person. And after that, we could box. I'm about my business. So remember I said, when I ask you these questions, I will dismantle your entire argument. That's the end of the debate, my dog.
I'm 39, but I don't look your typical 39.
Belly.
Yeah.
You look 39. It's okay though. That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed by a woman like you. Because a man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman. All right, welcome back, ladies and gents. So tonight, once again, is not open debate night, but we got debate night. It's myself versus Tyler from Jubilee. The debate topic tonight will be, can we ground morality without God? I'll be bringing up Tyler from Jubilee, and then also Dane Snyder will be moderating this debate. Before we get into it, though, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live next. We got a few links in the description, so if you want to continue to support the show and watch it grow, become a member. We got 3 tiers. That's how you can support us, or you can also support the channel by sending in super chats. During this debate, we will be reading super chats after the debate. So if you have any questions for myself or Tyler, we'll go ahead and get to those super chats after the debate is over. And then we may even open it up for anyone that wants to join the panel and ask myself or Tyler questions in regards to our positions. Let's bring them both up. Welcome, Dane. Welcome, Tyler.
Happy to be here.
Very happy to be on your show today, guys.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And Dane, the floor is yours since you're moderator, man.
Fantastic. Well, it's an honor to be asked to moderate one of your debates, Cooley, especially with Tyler here. Glad to be here, guys. Talking to both of y'all backstage, I can tell Tyler's a reasonable guy, so there's not a whole bunch for me to cover other than I'm probably going to sit here and I'll look like I'm not paying attention sometimes, but I'm going to be keeping track of things. And the only time I probably will interrupt is if you get to talking over each other a whole bunch because nobody can understand you, or if it seems like you're talking past one another and I may be able to clarify something. But otherwise, of course, as you both know, your arguments are to be made by you, not by me. So I'm not here to help you on that. If there's anything I can do for you, if you feel like I need to step up and help you out, if you feel like you're being mistreated by your debate opponent there, let me know. I am paying attention. Also, Tyler, as I understand it, the prompt he's going to be presenting in the affirmative is a little different than the prompt that we expected. His prompt, if I'm correct, is that he does not believe that you can ground morality at all, including with the Christian perspective of God. So it's a little different. So we're ready to go for it. I'm here. Let me know if I can do anything for you. Proud to be here. Tyler, we're having 4-minute opening statements, and Tyler, since he has the affirmative, he gets to go first. Tyler, I will start your time as soon as the first word comes out of your mouth.
All right, well, I guess start right now, start the timer. But just first of all, thank you both for having me. I love these kind of discussions, and I just want to first note, as Dan did point out, my claim is going to be that you can't even ground morality with God. I don't think you can ground him without him, and I don't think you can ground morality with him. I don't think it's possible. I think that I've seen Cooley in the past do some debates, pertaining to this question, and I think he does a really good job at showing how you can't get it from an atheist position. I think that a lot of his arguments kind of show that people's reasoning may be circular, or it may ultimately just be preference-based, and I think those are both really valid criticisms of that position. I do, however, think sometimes, especially with circular reasoning, this happens with the religious view, specifically a Christian religious view when it comes to grounding morality with God. So my argument essentially starts like this, and I'm going to be lending from. Well, first, actually, let me totally describe my position. I am what's known as a non-cognitivist. A non-cognitivist believes that there's no such thing as moral facts. So when someone says something like stealing is wrong, I think that's incomprehensible. I don't know what that means. It's not true or false. When someone says water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, that is a propositional claim, and that can be true or false. So that's kind of the difference maker there from like factual claims and what I think are cannot be factual claims, which is moral claims or moral facts. Simply put, when people speak about morality, I think it may be something more on the lines of emotivism, where it's just they're expressing emotion towards a particular claim. So when people say stealing is wrong, I really feel all they're saying is boo to stealing, or giving to charity. It's like yay to giving to charity. It's ultimately, I think, just like an emotional expression. I'm not as committed to the emotivism part as in with the non-cognitivism part, so I'm open to disagreement there if it comes up, which I don't believe it will. But I will pose this question to Cooley, which I'll lend from the Euthyphro dilemma. So basically, if you think we can ground morality from God, do moral facts exist because God commands them, or do you think moral facts exist independently of God and he is telling us what those moral facts are? I hope you can focus on that portion, but that's all the time I need for my opening statement, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Super, Andrew. I appreciate that. Now, Cooley, you had said earlier before we came on that your opening statement was based on the original prompt. Do you still want to take your 4 minutes?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll actually go ahead and give my argument for grounding morality.
Fantastic. I'll
Since
start my
that's
4 minutes
yep.
when you're ready.
Go ahead.
There you go.
Good, cool. So thank you, Tyler, for joining the debate tonight. So I take the non-affirmative position because God is good. God sets the standard for morality. If we are, making moral claims, like you said, in regards to your emotivist and things like that, you think that, bad when people express their moral actions towards things, or they verbalize things morally, they are just expressing their emotions. I don't believe that that's the case in its totality. I would say that, let me just go ahead and give the argument. How I ground morality is by grounding it in God, because God is omniscient, God is divine, and God is unchanging. If it's not grounded in God and human beings, like you say, just express their emotions when they, are speaking about the good and the bad, then it's just all preference based, right? It's going to be, well, I feel this is good, I feel that is bad, and your claim is basically that's just emotions. Well, my claim is it's a little bit different, because I do think that things are objectively bad and things are objectively good. For an example, in my worldview, grape would be always bad, right? It would be always bad in my worldview. And that is grounded in God, right? Also, if you cannot ground morality, morality it's a transcendental category, like truth, like knowledge, like information, and all of these things I believe are universal. So if you don't think that we can ground morality, then we don't ground truth, we don't ground knowledge, we don't ground anything. You can't even make any arguments today if you think that everything is just based off of preferences and how you feel. Like, if you're not grounding it in anything, then you can't really make an argument at all. I would also say that within the transcendental categories like logic, reason, the math theory, language theory, and information, all of these things have a different ontology than us, right? So I believe that God is good, God is logical, God is all of these things, and that's where it's grounded in. So I'll go ahead and end my opening there since I wasn't fully prepared for his position on this. But we can go ahead and get into the back and forth. And go ahead and restate your question, and I'll give an answer to it.
Okay, sorry. It took me a second to realize what grape meant, but I do know what you mean by grape.
Oh,
now.
yeah, we can't put, we got to put the G in front of it
The
because
G.
due
Well,
to
it's the
TOS,
G
we're on
rule.
YouTube.
The G rule. So yeah, God is anti-grape. But so yeah, to the two things I just want to touch on what you do, and I will rephrase the question for sure.
Okay, sure.
You talk about how God is, you believe morality is transcendental, like truth and logic. That's your position. I do not follow from that. So when you say to me that if I cannot ground morality, I can't make factual claims. So I can't say things such as, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. I think that claim can be true or false, even not mind dependent. So I think that is an objective truth claim that water will boil at that temperature, whether there's minds there to observe it or not. So that's why I think it's a bit separate. And to the question that I posed to you, and you did kind of answer it actually, so I'll just maybe make it more clear. So the question I originally posed to you as well was, are things good or do moral facts exist because God commands of them? Or do moral facts exist because God recognizes them as such? So that is my question. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, you basically said God is good. Essentially, God's nature is good, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
your question really wouldn't pertain to my position.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So can I ask you? I'm just going to ask you something about God's nature being good.
Sure.
So is God's nature good in virtue of God having this nature, or is God's nature said to be good in virtue for some other standard? So what do you mean when you say God's nature is good?
Yeah, so I mean exactly that. So God is good, right? Anything outside of God, I then would consider bad.
Okay, but what do you mean by good?
I mean that. Explain more. What answer are you looking for? What do I mean by good?
This is part of my issue, and this is why my position is called non-cognitivism.
Sure.
I think when we get to these points, God's nature is good, right? God's nature is naturally good. And when the question's asked, well, what do you mean by good? I think that's when things start to break apart, and it starts to become very unclear, which is why I would not put them as true or false statements. And I think if you're not able to define the terms of what is good then?
Okay, so you're looking for a definition. I see what you mean. Okay, thank you for that.
Within the context of the question, yeah.
Got it. So good would be, and from my worldview, God is good. God sets the standard for good. So anything outside of God would be considered bad. So for an example, I believe that grape is always bad. Do you believe that?
Do I believe grape is bad? Because of
not just bad, but always bad.
So yeah, my position is that claim is neither true or false. So no, I would say it's not always bad because I don't think it's true or false.
Okay, so you just don't think that it's true or false. So therefore, there is cases where grape can be considered good.
Well, no, because I'm denying the actual aspect of what is good. I'm saying it is neither good or bad.
So is it right or wrong?
Sorry?
Is it right or wrong?
By good or bad, I mean right or wrong is just a synonym of good or bad. So I would say
True.
It is right or wrong.
Okay, so it's just nothingness.
Yeah, it's just nothingness. Do I think that grape would promote things such as suffering? Yeah, I do. I do think it's about suffering. Do I have a subjective preference against suffering? I do. Is this grounded in some objective morality? I don't think it is. But I also think that you still need to define what good is. All you've told me is what good is not. You said it's anything.
I told you what good is. I actually defined it.
Okay, can you define it again? So maybe I'm a bit.
Yeah, I'll state it again, and I stated it in my opening as well.
Can you define it again for me, please?
Yep. So God, from my position, is the good. The good is God.
So isn't that a circular definition?
Where is it circular at?
So if God is the good and the good is God, isn't that a circle?
I'm totally fine with it being circular.
So wait, so you're okay with circular definitions?
I'm totally fine with it being circular. Yours would be circular too, I'll
But
prove it
is
to
it
you when
okay
we
to-
reduce it down.
Can you demonstrate to me how my position is circular?
Yeah, I'll demonstrate it how it's circular. You said that, well, I don't believe that there's a good, or bad. It's just what we express. I don't believe that things are actually right or wrong. It's just, what we express. So then it just goes back in a circle as well. So if I ask you, is grape bad? You said that, well, I don't think that is bad or good. Well, then what is grape to you? I just think that it's grape. It's circular.
No, because I'm denying the existence of a moral ontology. The circular here, I can give you a definition of what grape is. Or we can use like a non-example, right? I can stop saying grape and I could just say the actual term because it feels a bit silly. But that's
you just got to put the G in front of it, man. YouTube.
Yeah, no worries. But to me, when I hear your position, I'll give you an analogy, and this is what I'm hearing. If someone said cookies are delicious, and I would say, okay, well, why are cookies delicious? And someone says because they are tasty. What makes something tasty? Being delicious makes something tasty. Well, then what is delicious? And then someone says cookies. That is a circular definition, and it is inherently illogical. And that is what you've expressed and admitted to doing.
No, not at all.
You
so
did.
Let me ask you, where do you derive the, you don't believe in good at all?
No.
This means that, so you're making is this like universal, that there is no good?
I just don't think the concept exists. I think it's incomprehensible. It's not true or false.
Okay, so but listen, this is how it's circular, and it's a contradiction. By you stating that the concept is not true or false, meaning that you don't believe in it, you're making a universal claim that it is true that it doesn't exist. So therefore, you made a complete contradiction for your entire argument. I'll repeat it back slowly.
Yes, slowly for me, my friend.
You listen. Got it. You take the position, right? Here's how you get yourself in a pickle when you believe in nonsensical things like this, right? You take the position where you're making a truth claim. There's no such thing as good or bad. This is a truth claim.
Yeah.
By you making this truth, and then I ask you, well, is there anything that is right or wrong? There's no such thing as this. Is there anything that is true and false? There's no such thing as this. But by you denying it, you are also confirming it because you are making a universal truth claim.
Wait, so I
contradiction. You are in a performative contradiction.
Okay. I see where the confusion is. So, if allow me to speak on it, my friend.
Sure. Go ahead.
So, what you said to me, and I just want to repeat back to you, just so we're totally clear, that I made a truth claim that good and evil cannot be true or false, right? That's the truth claim I'm making. My claim, and it's a truth claim, is that something can't be good or evil, or true or false in that sense, right? Like the concept of good cannot be true or false, right?
But when we utilize good, we are also, just like on how we normally speak, if I make a claim that something is good, I'm also making a claim for knowledge. I'm giving a knowledge claim. I'm giving a epistemology claim.
Yeah, I understand
epistemic
that.
claim. So therefore, if you're saying something, let me just walk it back to you, right? You're giving an epistemic claim that something is not good or bad. Now, my question real quick, let's just make it clear. Then do you believe that things are true and false and right or wrong, or do you deny those two?
Okay, so you snuck something in there at the end, okay? So you said you asked me this. I just want to repeat the question so we stay clear. You said, do I believe in concepts of true and false or good and bad? So
yes.
That's a disjunction, right? That's an or statement. I do believe in things as true or false, but I do not believe that things can be good or bad. Do you see that?
Okay, I got it. So if you do believe that things are actually true and things are false, would it be let's say this, then how the way you would feel for it, because you're basically an emotivist. So if something is true,
emotivist, but yes.
Okay, so off the motivist. And not basically, I want to get your worldview. Let's try to flush it out a little bit.
The main thing is a non-cognitivist.
Okay, got it. But if something is true, the way you feel for that, is it good? If something is true? What's your feeling towards it?
No,
it's just true.
It's just true.
Got it. And so what I'm saying here is these transcendental categories like morality and truth and logic, these things have to be grounded in something. You don't believe that morality can be grounded at all, but you do believe that truth can be grounded, right?
So I believe that truth has the potential to be grounded, yeah.
Okay, got it. So if truth has the potential, because basically anytime someone is like, if you're speaking about good, you are also speaking, it's giving a truth claim as well. So I'm giving a truth claim.
Yeah.
You denying it, you're giving a truth claim, but you're not grounding morals and truth in the same category. From my worldview,
I separate
you
them.
separate it. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you separate that? Because from my worldview, knowledge, morality, logic, truth, and information, these transcendental categories they have a different ontology than us. So do you think that truth has a different ontology, or you derive truth from empiricism?
So yeah, I would mostly lean towards empiricism, not strict empiricism, because I think you can have like some rationalism too, such as logics or math. I think those concepts can exist, like 2 + 2 = 4. But I think if I believe 2 + 2 = 4, I don't see how it follows that then therefore moral claims exist. And I would actually like you to like spell out how something like 2 + 2 = 4 necessarily follows that then therefore moral claims exist.
Yeah, so I'll just make it very simple. Like if you're, the argument is super, super simple. Truth, from my worldview, truth, morality, like knowledge, morality, logic, number theory, information, I think that these categories, these things, they have a different ontology than us. I think that, so I'll just flesh out my worldview for you real quick, right?
Yeah.
What I believe in is that these transcendental categories share a different ontology than us, and we just utilize it as a tool. It's a tool for us to utilize, meaning that you're saying sentences right now, so you're utilizing logic, but you can utilize logic and you can come to a wrong conclusion.
Yeah.
Right? You can come to an incorrect conclusion.
Yeah.
And just like morals, you can utilize logic and you can think that something is good based off your own preferences, but then that would just reduce down to preferences. But from my worldview, I attach that to God.
So now I understand your position more. And
Yeah.
let me just quickly rephrase. You believe there's some transcendental truths that we can, I don't know if observe is the right word, but just to put it simply, observe and recognize them. So such as logic or number theory. These aren't like physical things, but we're observing them. But is that...
It's metaphysical categories, yeah.
Yeah, metaphysical categories. Okay, but the existence of one metaphysical category does not imply or necessarily create another metaphysical category. So just because I can recognize a metaphysical category of math does not follow that then therefore there's the metaphysical category of morality, right? You're making that jump by saying there is...
It's not a jump. I'll go ahead and close it for you. Oh, go ahead. Give me your argument. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So you're saying because there's transcendental truths, then there is necessarily moral truths. That's the jump. And I don't understand how you're getting to that jump. You're saying because these other things exist, well, then therefore this one exists. And that doesn't follow.
Yeah, that's not what I'm doing, right?
Okay,
I'm not saying that because of
20%.
this exists, therefore this one exists as well, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's very simple. You're an atheist. You believe in like evolution theory?
Yeah, I believe in evolution.
Okay, so you believe in evolution theory. So basically human beings are just, we get our knowledge and things from evolution and our brain, the mechanisms and the chemicals within our brain, right?
We gather knowledge using our brains. Theoretically, I will agree to that. Yes.
Okay, so logic and reason is grounded in just in our brains, due to our neurons and chemicals and stuff.
I wouldn't say reason is, and the reason why I'm not going to commit to that is because I think things such as like reason or logic can actually be tested out in the empirical world. So let me give you a quick example. If we were correct about math, right? So we have equations, and we were incorrect about these things. Buildings would fall, bridges would collapse, measurements would be off. However, our math, and it's pretty fine-tuned, seems to work, and we can see actual results from this. We can make predictions of this. Where the moral claims are different. They're not actually showing anything tangible different happening in the world.
Okay, so with 2 plus 2 always 2?
It's 4. 2 plus 2 is always equal.
I'm sorry. Yeah, is 2 plus 2 always equal 4?
Yeah.
It always equals 4. Okay, cool. So 2 plus 2 always equals 4. So therefore, without our minds, it would always equal 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what is it grounded into if it's not our minds?
What is it grounded into?
Yeah. How? So you think that these transcendental categories, besides morals, is grounded in evolution theory? Basically, Big Bang cosmology theory, we evolved over time, and basically these knowledge and math theory and information theory, language, it's all in our brains. We ground it in our brains. But you just admitted, real quick, but you just admitted that if there aren't any human minds, 2 plus 2 would always equal 4.
Yeah.
So where is it?
So let me explain it. So let's say there's no human minds, right? We'll grant a world with no human minds, right? Okay.
Yeah, let's say there's no human minds. Yeah.
Okay, and let's say there's like a lily pad, and there's no raindrops on it. Then 2 raindrops fall on it, and then an additional 2 raindrops fall on the lily pad. How many raindrops from the lily pad?
But you need a mind for that. Where are you grounding it without a mind?
No. So wait, do you think if all minds disappeared tomorrow, it would like bridges would collapse, that water would get off lily pads? They'd still be there. It's just we wouldn't be able to.
How do you know?
Sir, how do we know? We know. Well, that's
how do you know?
That's getting to foundationalism, and maybe we can't fully ground foundationalism with these things, but that is not an argument for then we have moralism or moral fact.
What I'm saying is the claim is very simple.
Do you, if all the minds went away, do you really think that those 4 raindrops would disappear?
I don't think that it would disappear because I ground knowledge in God.
Okay,
but
so
where are you grounding this? Where are you grounding information and this stuff in?
Let me rephrase the question. Grant for a second. Take my worldview. Suppose God doesn't exist, and there's 4 raindrops in the lily pad, and then all minds disappear the next day. Do those 4 raindrops in the lily pad still exist?
From you have nothing to ground it in.
I'm not asking you to ground it. I'm asking if you think it would still be there.
From your worldview, no.
You think they would all disappear?
Yeah, from your worldview, you can't make any knowledge claims or any truth claims. Like, how can you? And I'll explain.
That's a bit confusing. To me, that is.
Let me make my argument. I'll explain for you, right?
Yeah, okay.
So it's very simple. Once again, you take the position that basically you're an atheist, and knowledge, truth, all of these transcendental categories, math, language, I think that, once again, it has a different ontology than us. You think that it has the same ontology as us because it derives in our brains over trillions of years, right? The reason why we can utilize logic as a tool because human beings developed this over time.
Well, I believe we recognize logic. We didn't invent it.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
If you recognize it, my question is very clear. If you recognize logic, math theory, and all of these things, where is it at? Where is it grounded in? Is it grounded in the mind?
Is it grounded in the mind? So
yeah,
again,
where else? Where is it grounded? I want you to explain that to me.
So what do you mean by? Let me just rephrase so I'm sure we're talking the same. What do you mean by grounded?
Okay. Where does it come from?
Where does
So
it come from?
okay, so once again,
I think it
it's
comes
so.
from, yeah.
I'll explain it again.
Yeah,
When
of
we're
course.
speaking about grounded, I'm saying that it never changed. This is why I asked you, does 2 + 2 always equal 4?
Yeah.
You said 2 + 2 always equals 4. This means that it's universal. It's unchanging. So if it's very simple, if you believe in evolution theory and things are always changing, why do you believe in a standard that is not changing? It's a contradiction to your
Wait,
worldview.
hold on with that. Just evolution existing doesn't imply that math changes. You recognize that, correct?
Once again, if you believe in evolutionary theory and things are always evolving, things are always changing.
Biological creatures are always evolving.
Okay, got it. So that's what I want. So the physical matter, the
Okay.
physical
Yeah,
world
okay.
is always changing.
Yes.
Now, math and information theory knowledge, these transcendental categories, you say that they're not changing, right?
Yes.
So how can, if you believe in evolutionary theory, the physical process throughout evolution always changes, but our physical beings utilize something that is not changing? I want you to demonstrate to me, how are these transcendental categories not changing? What are they grounded in?
If
So,
I could interject,
They can't listen. They
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
be grounded in
yeah.
our minds because we're always changing.
Yeah.
So then, what are they grounded in?
Cooley, if I could just interject real quick, it's fine with me whichever way y'all want to go, but just as a traffic directing sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, sure.
What we've moved towards right now, rather than Tyler taking an affirmative and you a negative, he has you challenging you to take the affirmative to defend your position, and then that puts him in the negative, which I'm fine with that. But you know, I just wanted to point that out, that if he was going to
Yeah, I
take the
know.
affirmative, then I would think he would need to promote and defend his position, and then you in the negative, defend against that. Whereas right now we're kind of inverted. So
Yeah, I'll take any direction either of you guys want. I'm very flexible.
Okay, well, we could go ahead. Well, just answer that question, Tyler. And
How about
what's
I'll answer that question, then I'll make a more affirmative argument to kind of
cool? And what's going on here? Let me explain to the audience as well.
Yeah.
Is Tyler's position? It's a contradiction. He already committed a performative contradiction because he believes in evolution theory. And evolution theory is a process which is always changing. Then I ask him, the debate is about, is morality, can morality be grounded without God? He believes that morality can't be grounded without God, but morality is, like, you can't touch or taste morality, right? You can't, it's not a physical category. It's in a metaphysical category, just like reason, logic, knowledge, math theory, language theory. All of these things we can't touch. They're not like physical at all. So Tyler, in his worldview, everything reduces down to the physical. I'm asking him, how does he even have the capability of utilizing something that is not, how can you utilize a tool that is not physical, but from your worldview, everything is physical?
Okay, I will address the audience.
Sure. Okay, go ahead.
I believe a contradiction has not been shown, and what has thus far happened in this debate, and Cooley's been really cool, but I don't mean anything like disrespect with this. He has conceded that his definition of good is ultimately circular, and in addition, his qualm with me is that he therefore thinks that because I believe in evolution, math must also follow from evolution, which I am distinctively making. There's two separate categories. Biological creatures, such as human beings, are privy to evolution. Metaphysical categories that Cooley's alluding to, such as like reason and logic, are not privy to this. These are tools that we can use our brains to recognize. But just because our brains can recognize these tools does not mean that they're ever changing. Because what logic is a rule of finding contradictions in things and seeing what follows from particular premises. When there's a contradiction, it's not going to change in 1,000 years if there's it's no longer a contradiction. These will constantly stay afloat. So I think that's where we left off. And as I will continue to say, just because we evolve doesn't mean we can't recognize metaphysical categories like math, like truth claims such as water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. That doesn't mean we can't observe that. Those are separate things. I don't think it follows from that. And then additionally, these examples don't therefore follow that moral claims now exist. But let me get to a really affirmative case. So like put us back on track.
Yeah. So real quick.
Yeah, of course.
You say that you can recognize it. My real question is, can you give an account for it? Can you justify it? Yeah, you can recognize. Can you justify it? I want you to justify. Once again, knowledge, logic, number theory, language theory, information. I want you to justify that.
Okay.
Give an account for it.
So, can I use math as an example?
Sure, go ahead.
So, for math, I'm making a prediction. If our math was inaccurate, we wouldn't be able to build bridges. We wouldn't be able to build skyscrapers. Our measurements would be off. But this is not the case. We are able to do this, and it follows suit.
You're describing it. I want you to give an account for it. I didn't ask for a description.
That's the justification.
That's not a justification. That's a description.
That's an interruption. But hold on a second. So my point, my justification is that these predictions would not happen if we weren't able to access it and it were not true.
Yeah, so I want you to once again, because you're not answering my question. You can speak, but you're not answering my question. That's okay. I'm not asking for you. Listen, Tyler, real quick. I'm not asking you to give me to recognize it and to describe it for me. I'm asking you to justify it for me.
Okay, what do you mean by justify that? Because to me, a justification is I'm giving you an argument of why I think it exists, right? And my argument is essentially make predictions with it.
Where does it come from? Justified. Where does it come from? I'm not asking you how. Where does it come from?
Logic exists necessarily.
I know it's not a physical category. It's a metaphysical category. Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yeah, it exists necessarily. So it can't come from anywhere. Things that exist necessarily.
Wait, what? It doesn't come from anywhere? So you believe in magic?
No, I believe in necessary claims. I don't know how is that. I don't know that's magic, but some things are.
Okay, so no, that is magic would be if you can't justify it and things just miraculously appear. So what I'm asking you is very simple.
Do you think God can defy logic?
I'm asking you very simple, right? Don't ask me a question and to avoid answering my question.
Will you answer my question after? I'll make a deal. I will answer your question.
Great. But yeah, please answer my question. I'm asking you not to recognize it's very simple, right? What you're trying to do is, you committed a contradiction, but you just don't want to hold down on it. You say that, well, Cooley, it's just circular. Yeah. Well, I already pointed out that yours is circular as well. I pointed it out, made it very clear.
So then we're both wrong?
You also no, not at all. If something is circular, doesn't mean that you're wrong. That doesn't mean that you're wrong at all. If you committed a contradiction, which I'm going to point out here in a second, that means that you're wrong. Like, okay, you're contradicting yourself.
Okay.
So it's very clear here, right? If you are saying that morality is in a different category than logic and reason and information and knowledge, well, what category, before we even get to you making a justification for it real quick, I want to know, because you never really explained it to me.
Yeah, of course.
What category, what's that separate category that morality is in then? You can't touch or taste morality. You can't touch or taste math. You can't touch or taste logic. It's not in the physical realm. So please explain.
Yeah, of course. So if I said that it exists in a separate category, I misspoke, or I'll just reframe my position now then.
Okay. So then I didn't contradict myself then.
Well, I never said that you contradict yourself.
Oh no, you said it was circular. Okay,
well, your
that was right.
Still circular. But let me address that. Let me address what you said.
Sure, go ahead.
So, my claim is that because categories like math and logic exist, it does not mean moral categories exist. That's my claim. Right? That's all there is to it.
Okay. Now, once again,
justify logic. Correct?
But remember, you made an argument to me. You said, well, Cooley, it doesn't, if logic and knowledge exist, this doesn't mean that morality is in the same category. Didn't you say that to me before?
So, and then I misspoke. I said it necessarily doesn't mean it exists.
Okay. So then you said it necessarily doesn't mean that it exists.
Yeah.
And once again, from my position, I think that it's all in the same category.
Yes.
But for some reason, based off of religion, yes, based off of my belief in God.
Yeah.
That's where I ground it in, right? I'm grounding, and I demonstrated how I grounded it. Now, you are making, the thing is, you're making, you don't believe in morality at all. There's no good, there's no bad. It's just based off how we feel.
Yeah.
But you're also making a truth claim. So now what I'm asking for you is to justify that truth claim. So I'm asking you to justify where knowledge is. Can you touch it? Can you smell it? Can you taste it? Where is it grounded in? 2 + 2 always equals 4. Well, how does it always equal 4? Where is it grounded in? I want you to demonstrate that for me. Why does 2 + 2 always equals 4? Give an account for it, a justification for it.
So you want me to give an account for 2 + 2 = 4?
Yeah.
So,
is it magic?
It's not magic.
Sounds like magic, man.
Well, I don't think logic is magic, but so 2 + 2 = 4 is just a logical statement. It is that if we grant 2 means 2 sums, and plus means adding the sum, and 2 still means 2 sums, that equation equals 4 necessarily. That's a necessary claim. Nothing invents it. It just necessarily exists with how logic works. It's like a puzzle. And like I said, even with God, I don't think you could defy logic. Which would have to be your point.
Okay, I'll let you finish. Go ahead.
Logic, you would have to show me how God could defy logic, and I'd be looking for an example of that.
So I'll answer your question right now. God can't.
Wait.
So God is logical. God wouldn't defy logic. God wouldn't defy his own nature, which is good. So God would never do bad. God is not within his nature. Is not within his nature.
I didn't ask you if you would. I asked you if you could.
God would never, is not within his nature.
Again, so I'm not asking you what
he wouldn't do it. He would never do bad. He would never do good.
I'm not asking you what he would do.
I already said no.
No, he couldn't do that. So he does
not at all. Not okay. It's not about a power. Is that God is all good. So since God is all good, God would not do anything that is bad.
He doesn't have the capacity.
You understand that?
He doesn't have the capability.
It's not a capability. You're thinking about it wrong. The only reason why something is, you don't believe. So real quick, you don't believe in good or bad anyway. You believe that it's all emotions, right? So I'm making it very clear here. God's ontology is good. God would not be fighting with himself.
I'm not asking you if God has the capabilities to do something that is good or bad. I'm asking you if God has the capabilities to defy logic.
Once again, logic, knowledge, logic, reason, morality, all of these things is grounded within God. It has a different ontology than us. It's grounded in Jesus Christ, God. So no, the answer is no.
So God does not have the capabilities to do that.
It's not a capability.
No, but
so you have the wrong. You're using the wrong language.
Well, I mean, the question is not incomprehensible. You can answer it.
No, I already said that it's not well, I'll go ahead and answer it again.
So
the language that you're using is incompatible with God's nature, because the way you think of God wrong.
Okay, so how about
it's just like if you ask me, can an orange be an apple? Well, an orange can never be an apple because it can never be an apple.
No.
It's incapable. It's logically it can't be an apple. Even in in your worldview, evolutionary theory, it actually could be an apple.
I mean,
over time it can change, right?
Yeah.
An apple over time could change into an orange.
Yeah, of course. I have no issue with that.
Well, what I'm saying, that's nonsensical, which is why we're back here. So we're back here, which you haven't gave a justification for. I answered your question real quick. I answered your question. Let's go back to you giving an account for these transcendental categories, which you appeal to, that's outside of the physical world. You appeal to metaphysical categories, but you believe in evolutionary theory, which that's the belief that information, logic, knowledge, and all of these things developed over time
That is not evolutionary theory. That is not what that is.
Trillions of years.
That is not what evolutionary theory is.
So how do we utilize? Not even utilize. Where does logic and reason and knowledge come from?
They exist necessarily.
Okay.
Right?
Did everything start with the Big Bang?
I just want to be clear. Do you know what I mean when I say they exist necessarily?
Yeah. Did everything start with the Big Bang?
Sorry?
Did everything the world, the universe, did all of this start with the Big Bang?
It depends on what you mean by the word start.
I'm asking you the question. Did everything start? Did everything come into existence with the Big Bang?
You're asking for. You're asking for my position on how the universe.
What he's trying to do is do an internal critique of your worldview, Tyler. He's trying to step into your world and use your language and your understanding to then critique from inside of it.
Yeah,
so that's why he's asking you to present your views on those things.
So, like many physicists, I believe it's a plurality. I believe in something that's known as the B theory of time. So, the B theory of time states, for your audience who doesn't recognize, maybe you do, is that essentially that time is another dimension in the universe, and that all moments of time actually coexist at the same time. We just have a subjective experience of them at a particular instance. And that is my belief, which is the B theory of time. So this idea that the Big Bang started things is nonsensical within the B theory of time, because the Big Bang's beginning, if you call it, exists simultaneously as it does now, as it would in the 2016 election when Donald Trump wins, and it will when the Earth gets blown to a crisp from the sun or freezes out or whatnot. So that's my belief. So that's how I'd answer that question.
Okay, and where did these dimensions of time come from?
Where did
these other dimensions come from?
Oh, we don't know yet. We're still trying to.
And how did it? You don't know. You don't even know. Okay, got it. So therefore, you believe in things that you have no evidence for, that you cannot prove, and just like I'm asking.
No. So sorry. Just because we don't know for certain doesn't mean we don't have reason or justification or evidence for something. The B theory of time is in correlation and works well with the most recent theory of physics, which is relativity theory, which is put forth by Albert Einstein, where that with motion, things can appear at different times and at different, at different times within our universe. So
you're not giving a justification; you're describing it. So what I'm looking for is, I'm doing.
Is the justification, my friend?
No, it isn't. I'll explain. Right. What I'm doing here is I'm giving precept arguments. Right. So what I'm looking for you is to justify what you already presuppose. You suppose all of these things like reason, logic,
That's true. I did
number
say they were
theory,
necessary.
language theory. You like assume all of this, right? I'm asking you, I'm giving a presuppositional argument. I'm asking you to justify those things existing. And you told me so far that, from other dimensions. Well, how does those other dimensions?
I didn't say other dimensions.
You did, man. The reason why Big Bang happened here is from another time dimension. It's time dimensional. So I'll repeat it back. I'll repeat your argument back. Well,
thank you,
in 1702 or whatever, the Big Bang happened then. The Big Bang happened now. The Big Bang happened all of these times because it's different dimensions. I understand dimensions, right? Those dimensions, listen real quick. Those dimensions, where did those dimensions come from?
So you're asking me where the universe came from, right?
Because it had to. I've already asked you that. Yeah, where did all of this come from? Where did logic and reason come from? Grounded in something.
Can I answer it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I believe the universe exists necessarily. I think existence is necessary, essentially. But you do as well.
That's circular.
No. It's necessary.
What? That's circular. What? I told you in time, I'm going to show you that your argument and your worldview is circular. Well, where does stop it? Let me just make my point.
I will.
Well, where does the universe come from? Well, I think that the universe is necessary. I think that the universe comes from the universe. I think that
I didn't say that.
I think that's what that means. I think that how did everything just come into existence? Well, different dimensions. Where did the dimensions come from? Well, from other different dimensions. I think that it just exists because it exists. It's circular. It exists because it exists.
Means.
What are you speaking about? I just demonstrated it.
Okay, so cool. I am enjoying this conversation.
Wait, does it exist because it exists? Is that not circular?
Sorry?
If it exists because it exists, is that not circular? Like God is good because God is good. Is that not circular?
No,
so remember, I told you. Remember, I told you that I was going to. I already said that. Well, all worldviews reduce down to circular at some point. I know this. So can you concede? Can you concede that your worldview is circular?
So no, but can I answer the question?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so
you're not going to concede. I'm going to keep pressing you on this.
But I want to answer the original question you asked.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Tyler, yeah. If I could say as well, you're actually at liberty to be just as entertaining and theatrical and performative as Cooley is. We equal opportunity here, man.
Yeah, Tyler, you could. Yeah, you could talk junk back and stuff. Go ahead, man.
I'm having a lot of fun. So, saying the universe exists necessarily is not the same as saying the universe exists because it exists. Saying it because it exists implies causation. I'm not saying that there's causation here. I'm just saying something exists necessarily, right? So those are two separate claims. Therefore, it would not be circular because you're implying that I'm interpreting causation, which I am not doing.
Okay, then what are you interpreting? Go ahead and explain to me how it exists necessarily.
Oh, how the universe came to be?
No, go ahead and explain to me how it exists necessarily.
I think existence is necessary. That's just the answer. It's a philosophical bedrock. It is a brute truth, as Bertrand Russell.
Why is it necessary?
Why is it necessary?
Yeah.
I don't have the answer to that question. I don't know why it's necessary, but it seems to be. Just like I don't know why logic is necessary, but logic seems to be necessary. I can't explain to you why these things became necessary, but I believe they are.
And you mean to tell me that that's not circular?
Well, that's not what circular is. So
no. Listen, I'll go ahead and say it back, right?
Yeah, I'm not interrupting you.
God is good, and good is God.
Mm-hmm. That's
right?
Your position.
So look at that. God is good, and good is God, right? You would say that. Well, God is good.
Well,
okay, and the good. Listen, stop it. Listen, because this is what you try to get me on, and I went ahead and said it's circular, but now we're just going to go ahead and repeat it back, right? And so your position, God is good, and the good is God, right? That's what that is. That's not giving any cause for anything. You put these other words and saying, well, it's not. Well, my position isn't circular because it's giving a cause. The statement that I made was no cause, right? So your position is the universe exists because it's necessary. Well, why? How? Well, because it's necessary. The universe exists because it's necessary. The universe exists because it's necessary. God is good. Good is God. Circular. Concede so we can just move on.
So, okay, how about I bring up one more objection to this? And we'll move on. Is that fair?
Hey, Coach, look. Coach, he's moving a goalpost. I can't score. He's moving a goalpost. Listen, Tyler, bro, it's okay, bro. Just concede so we can move on. It's circular. Everyone knows it is.
Can I say what I want to say?
Okay, go ahead.
I appreciate it. Right. So, okay, the reason why God is good and good is God is you're talking about a definition, right? So it's definitionally circular. You're answering for a definition. When you ask me, how does the universe exist? That's not a definitional question. That is an empirical question, right? You see the difference between those two things?
No, it isn't.
So you don't think empirical claims are different from definitional claims?
No. So once again, we can say that I can say that mine is empirical too. What are you talking about? I can say that I can give evidence. Listen,
define God.
I can give. Listen, I can give. Stop. You're just moving the goalposts off of definitions and empiricism. Empiricism is giving evidence and things like that too.
Well, kind of, but not fully. No, I mean, we could look it up if you want.
Okay, it would be some type of proof, some type of evidence.
No, I said the empirical world is just like the physical, like things that are measurable, right? It's it's things that we can observe. Right?
Okay, so things that we can observe.
You can't observe definitions.
Totally fine. We can observe definitions.
No,
totally
I said
fine.
we can. I said we cannot observe definitions.
Yeah, I know. I already repeated that back. So real quick, let's just go back to the claim, right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, let's just go back to the claim.
Yeah.
So now you're still trying to escape out of it and saying, well, it's not circular. The universe exists because it's necessary, and it's necessary for the universe to exist. I ask you, well, why is it necessary? Well, because we don't know. I have no proof for it. I have no proof for it. I have no proof. So what are you talking about, man? Like, it's circular, bro. Just concede.
Clearly, no. We're gonna go through this again. Circularism is for definitions, not the empirical world. Right? Like,
okay, so
categories. You are talking about definitions.
Are you not giving?
You said the definition of good is God, and then the definition of God is good.
No. I just said that once again. I'm just saying that God is good, and good is God.
Okay, what is the definition of good?
Well, the universal claim would be I'm making a universal claim, and that would be God.
Okay, so the
that would be
definition
God.
of good is God.
Yeah.
Okay, and
so even if it's on a definitional base or it's on a empirical base,
right?
Listen, even this doesn't mean that you're giving circular reasoning, right?
It means you are.
No, it means that you are. It means that we both are. What are you talking about? We both are. Okay. You would have to then demonstrate to me how. Listen, this is the only way you could get out of it, then, right? You would then have.
Give me the key, my friend. Give me the key.
Well, one, it's the only way to get out of it is for you to concede because it's totally circular.
It's the only way.
You know what? I guess he won't concede to it being circular, but the audience understands. So I'll go ahead and
we'll let the audience decide. I think we've come to an impasse with this. So are you okay? Because I know you guys want to do super chats, which I think
we got time for that.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Can I make a more affirmative claim, as Dan correct pointed out earlier, to kind of
that's
flesh out your worldview for sure.
It's Dane. Okay. It's Dane, like Great Dane, like Dane, like the dog breed, like the Vikings. But sure, go ahead. Honestly, in chat, there's been a lot of chatters complaining because y'all are both spinning around in circles.
Okay, so, I'm sorry to the chatters.
No, that would be great. No, that'd be great. That'd be great.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So let me give you a thought experiment, okay, Cooley? Okay, so suppose we have, and to the audience too, and if you need me to re-explain it afterwards, I'm totally happy to do that. Suppose we have two separate worlds, World A and World B. In World A, moral facts exist, and we'll say like God exists within the two. The Christian God exists, and these moral facts do in fact exist. In World B, the Christian God exists, but moral facts actually do not exist. What would be the observable, tangible difference between these two worlds?
Okay, you're asking me a question.
Yep.
All right. So one, it's my argument is not that a moral claim or a moral statement like existing or something. That's not what I'm arguing.
That's what moral realism is.
Yeah, but who said I'm a moral realist? What are you talking about?
You're not a moral realist?
Well, what do you mean by moral realism?
I might have just been confused. Are you not a moral realist?
What do you mean by moral realism?
You think moral facts exist?
It's grounded in God.
But
God sets the standard for.
So you do think they exist then? I'm not trying to trap.
If that's what you mean by moral realism, I'm saying that. But my position is very.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's the case because once again, it's very simple.
Okay.
God is good. Anything outside of God is bad. That's how we make the distinction of what is good and what is bad. God gives us moral law. We adhere to the moral law, then you are good. You don't adhere to moral laws, it is bad. From your worldview, you don't think that there's anything that is good or bad. So from your worldview, just like grape would just be grape. It would just be grape.
Just a bag of grapes. But
Great.
okay,
So within your worldview, right? Hypothetically, I know you asked me a question. I think I answered. You asked me a question, but the question really doesn't pertain to my worldview. But let me ask you a question that. Let me ask. I think I answered your question good, but it really doesn't pertain to my worldview. But from your worldview, then if a woman was raped, should we just not lock up the person that raped her? Like, should there be any penalties and consequences for people that do things?
I feel like you didn't answer my question. So I'm going to answer your question. I promise, Cooley. But are you okay if you just rephrase your answer to my question so I can have a clear understanding of it?
Yeah, what I'm saying is I think that your question doesn't pertain to me because...
So you're not answering it? That's fine.
Well, from my worldview, it's not a question that is for my worldview. My worldview is very simple. God is good. God sets the standard for good. If you follow God's moral law, you are in the good. If you go outside of God's moral law, you are in the bad.
Yeah, we'll call that world A. And I'm saying, let's say there's a possible world B where God makes these claims, but these moral facts actually do not exist. What is the difference between these? Like, what's the tangible difference between these worlds?
Okay, so then it's like a world of evil, you're saying?
Well, it's not a world of evil. It's a world without moral facts. Because evil.
Okay, so then so then that world would look like it'd be a lot of rape, it'd be a lot of murder, it'd be a lot of theft, it'd be a lot of these things going on, and you know what? It would be no what's the word for it? It would be no reason to even do good. Why don't we just enact in our nature and take what we want and get what we want at all times?
So yeah, that
it would just be like from your worldview, since you believe that really morals don't exist. Well, why don't we just rape, steal, and do all of these bad things and murder people? Because we just came from monkeys and came from sea animals before then.
Okay, so first, I'm really happy with your answer. I think it helped clarify me a lot of your position. So you're basically saying within world B, if there were no moral facts, even though God would command himself, there would be a lot of tangible harm such as rape, theft, murder, and so forth. And what you're implying to me there is that there's something essential about these properties that are bad, that are evil. But if that's the case, then you do not need God to ground the morality. You're basically saying these moral facts exist even without God. That there's some property about them that would be good, and God is just recognizing these properties as bad, which implies we do not need God for it.
Yeah, no, this is why I said you're trying to do an internal critique. So internal critiques work when you understand the person's worldview.
That's true.
And I don't think you fully grasped my worldview, right?
Can I try to can I steel man your worldview and to see if I understand it?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, just to show good charity and stuff like this.
Yeah,
I believe your worldview is this. You think that you believe in a Christian worldview with God as God is good. And God gives everything that is a part of God is good, and anything that is not a part of God is necessarily bad. And in this world, if we didn't have God like this, it would lead to things such as rape, theft, murder, abuse, and so forth.
Not only that, if in my worldview, if we don't have God, we don't have anything.
So you think that God is necessary for existence?
If God is the creator of all. Mm-hmm. He's not bound by time, space, or matter.
You think God's existence is necessary?
God is the creator for all.
Yeah, so God's existence is necessary.
Well, necessary for us to exist.
Well, it's necessary for anything to exist.
Necessary for anything, yeah. Necessary for us to exist, necessary for anything to exist.
And God is necessarily for God to exist.
No, God is in a different category. So there's a creator.
Category is he in?
Yeah, so God is in a category. So there's a category of a creator and the created. So God is in the category of a creator, and there's only one category for that one position, and God holds that position.
It's the big G.
And then, yeah, that's what it will be. So now, since you understand my worldview, let me ask you a question, right?
And can you steal man my worldview too, since I did it for yours?
Sure, I'll go ahead and still man your worldview.
Yeah.
And as you can see, you really didn't understand my worldview because your hypothetical was asking a question of two different worlds. And from within my worldview, that world B, it wouldn't even exist.
Do you think it's
impossible?
You think there's a logical contradiction?
What do you mean? From your question?
So like when I say like the word possible, I mean anything that's conceivable. And you're saying that it's actually just a logical contradiction insofar as it's inconceivable.
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not even conceivable within my worldview.
Okay, so you can't imagine there being a creator that is not good, that lies about being good. That's literally impossible.
Literally impossible.
Can I ask why?
Because once again, God is the creator. He fits that position. He's in that category. And then he created things. Now, God calls us, God created us, but then he also created human beings to have the nature to be a secondary cause, meaning that this is why from my worldview, bad and evil things still go on is because human beings have free will. And since we have free will, we have the ability to make our own choices. This is why God judges us on the choices that we make when we go outside of him, right? From your worldview, you're an atheist. You believe we came from dirt. With that worldview, then
Yes.
it's basically, I'm asking you, why and how can you put in, well, actually, the real question would be why? Why would there be any consequences for rape, for murder, for theft, for all of these things that all human beings know that it's bad?
Okay, I just want to be clear. I don't feel like you answered
Most
the question
human
of.
beings.
I don't feel like you answered the question of why there could not be a morally ambiguous or evil creator. I don't know why that's impossible to exist. And you didn't.
From my world, I just told you because from my worldview,
why couldn't there have been an evil creator? Like
I've already. So I'm going to go ahead and answer this again, but then I'm going to need you to answer my question. Okay? Yeah. So it's very simple.
Of course.
I can't conceive of this world existing is because I believe in a creator that is good. So the only way that
Why do you believe that?
the only way that this other hypothetical world could exist if there is a creator that is bad.
And why is that? Like,
Makes sense?
Why do you have to believe in a creator that's good? Like, why couldn't they be bad?
Why don't you believe in bad or good?
So I'm asking you why you believe there's a
Got
creator
it. I already answered it. But why don't you believe in bad or good, but you act every day? Like if I punched you in the face, you would think that was bad. So you're lying. It's lies though. So from your worldview, you just lie and continue to lie because you actually know that, well, there are things that are bad and there are things that are good. You can say, well, incest or grape would be bad from your worldview.
No, I'm just kidding. Go on.
Got it. So once again, since it's your position, right? Your position is very simple. There's no such thing as morality. You can't ground it. You even said that, well, it can be preference based, but even that, I just don't think morals exist at all. So if morals don't exist, why do you act in ways that people would be considered to be good or bad?
Okay, so I'm going to answer. First, sure. Thank you so much. You've been patient. The audience, you guys have been patient. Awesome. I'll answer the question now. I believe that I act this way and other people act this way. That would be called good from your understanding. I think that it's a product of evolution. That essentially we pre-selected certain traits in people that are cohesive to the social group. So essentially, if somebody acted like brutish, was violent, was antisocial, those people are less likely to procreate and be involved in the tribal society to have those genes passed down to survive. Because ultimately, we are just a product of evolution. It's the same reason why we find certain traits attractive, like muscular men, tall, height, broad shoulders, narrow waist, women with youth and the curvy body. We find those things attractive because they produce good offspring. What also produces good offspring is socially appetizing traits, such as cooperation, kindness, intelligence, and not antisocial behavior. So we've evolved to have these traits, but I think it's ultimately derived in evolution and not in a metaphysical standard. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. So basically, you believe that everything is our experience. Basically, how we're here is through events that was accidental.
Yeah.
Okay. So if events are accidental, then it has no meaning, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So if things have no meaning, then where does the meaning come from if we say that, well, from your worldview, well, I feel that this is bad, I feel that this is good. Where does this meaning derive from if everything is accidental?
Can I ask a question? What do you mean by meaning, just so I'm clear?
Well, if I punch you in the face, you would think that that's bad. And
I would think it hurts, but I wouldn't think it's morally, I wouldn't think there's a true moral bad of it. I would think it hurts, and I would think you're a mean person, but I wouldn't think that it's morally bad. That would contradict.
So there's meaning within it, meaning that it's you feel a way about it. It's some
and I would say
meaning there.
That's just my my evolution lying to me. When I think this is morally bad, that's just me.
Wait, so evolution is lying to you now?
So yeah, evolution did not evolve for us to recognize truth necessarily. It evolved for us to reproduce and survive.
Okay, so if that's the case, how do you know that the sentences that you're making right now is logical and correct? If everything is accidental from your worldview, how do you know that? How do you know that you're not in a contradiction currently right now?
Can I are you asking me if I can ground this fundamentally, foundationally?
No. What I'm asking you is something very simple.
Okay.
Since you believe that you're here and we're all here through events happening over time that was all accidental, which basically means that there's no purpose for us to be here. But if I punched you in the face, you would feel like, well, that wasn't purposeful. That you would feel like, well, darn, why'd you do that?
Yeah, come on.
You get what I'm saying?
I know. I feel you.
I'm asking you, why do human beings, from your perspective, where did we derive, if we're just all accidental, where did we derive this state of mind for things to be purposeful and things to have meaning?
Like I said, I think that it is evolutionarily beneficial to believe in those things, such as mnemonics, which is the evolutionary idea of ideas. Religion has played an important role.
Okay, so can it be beneficial? So here's the thing. You're saying that, well, you believe that it's beneficial.
Beneficial to survival and reproduction.
Beneficial for survival and production.
Reproduction.
Can it be beneficial to, for all of these things that from my worldview I would consider to be bad? Could it be beneficial to then manipulate people, to lie to people, to grate people, to abort unborn children? Can all of these things be beneficial? And if it is beneficial, does then that make it good from your worldview?
Well, remember, I don't believe in good or bad, so I'm not saying these things are good or bad. From your worldview, if we peel back the beneficial, then that fits. The only reason why people would do things that's beneficial is because it would have good outcomes that they would prefer. So you just so you're clear, you're asking me basically are there traits that you would consider personally bad that could be evolutionarily beneficial?
No, what I'm asking you is very simple. Okay. Since it's the case from your worldview that everything is just events that happened over time, that's all accidental, there's no purpose, there's no meaning within this, right? No purpose, no meaning. You said that. I asked you the question, well, then why do human beings act in accordance when things are good and things are bad? You said that, well, I don't really believe in good or bad. I believe if it's beneficial. right?
Yeah.
So then I'm saying that if it's it can be beneficial to grape someone, to steal from people,
totally.
to murder.
Yeah.
Okay, so then if these things are beneficial, then why should we outlaw these things?
So the reason,
and why do we? Why do human beings do
we
this?
outlaw these things?
Why do we, and why should we?
Because those events are sometimes beneficial from a reproductive standpoint, it doesn't mean that it's always beneficial from a societal reproductive standpoint. So we recognize when people are going around doing this stuff, it's actually overall bad. And so people have like made rules and social norms since the beginning of tribal societies. So that's why those things would happen. So I'm totally granting to you that sometimes that these bad things will have a reproductive benefit. But if they go unchecked and they happen too often, that is actually bad for the group. Theft prevalent in a society is bad, as in the sense that it will damage like the cohesion of the society and chances for reproduction. So
so then it won't be. Okay, so the benefit. So the benefit means that if it's for reproduction and what else?
Reproduction and like survival.
Okay, so survival and reproduction.
Yeah.
So that's the only time something can be beneficial.
So no, that's just how I'm using the word beneficial here to describe events. Like when I'm saying beneficial, I mean they're beneficial into the sense that they provide for reproduction or they provide for survival, and that's why we have these feelings of good or bad in society, or in individuals.
Okay, so we have these feelings. So feelings come from things that are beneficial due to when it benefits our survival and our reproduction.
They can come from that. It's not necessary.
Okay,
there's genetic mutations, right?
Okay, they can come from this, but it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Got it. So then, once again, then my question still stands.
Yeah.
If I just want some type of answer from you, then
of course,
if everything is just random and it's accidental,
yeah,
then the question is, why do we need to do anything that is beneficial, even if it is for survival and reproduction, if it's all accidental and all random?
Why do we need to do it?
Why?
We don't have to do it. We don't have to.
Okay, so from your worldview, you're fine with human existence just going extinct.
I don't think that would be good or bad. I would just think it would be something that happened.
Okay, you think that it'd just be something that happened. Got it. So then also, if we get back to the topic of the debate and we're speaking about morality, which you don't believe in at all, you don't believe that anything is good and you don't believe that anything is bad, you think that everything is, right?
Yeah.
And then since everything is, and that's tied to we do things for our benefit for survival and reproduction.
Yeah.
Then in your worldview,
mechanism. Yeah.
Then in your worldview, does might make right?
No, that's a moral claim. I don't think that right exists. So no, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, so you don't even think that right exists. Do you think that correct exists?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, if right, do you mean like factually true in terms of like propositional knowledge? I think that could exist, but I don't think right as in the sense of like moral right. You know what I mean?
Okay, so moral right just doesn't even exist from your worldview.
Yeah.
Got it. But okay, totally fine, but correct would exist.
Yeah.
Got it.
Theoretically, potentially.
Okay, got it. So if it's the case that if everything reduces down to, well, I'm going to do what is for my survival value and what is for my reproduction value, then I'm going to go head out there and murder, steal, and kill, and grape. That would be the correct way of living?
So you're asking me if those actions were the best chance for reproduction and survival, would that be correct?
I'm just asking you, would that be the correct way to live?
What do you mean by correct way to live? Because it feels like to me you're slipping in a moral claim. You're slipping in a moral.
Well, I asked you correct. Well, you said that you don't believe in right, you don't believe in wrong.
I believe in propositional knowledge. So ask me a propositional question.
Okay, got it. So by correct, I'm saying that correct would be, okay, so from your worldview then, correct would be tied to like 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Got it. So then, well, no, that's a perfect question for you then. Why can't you answer that?
So,
then,
you're saying like if are you saying that graping people's like math?
No, listen. I'll go ahead and restate the question again. So, I'll go ahead and restate the question again, and I'll make it clear.
Yeah.
Everything is just a chain of events, it's a chain of events that's all accidental. There's no purpose. There's no meaning, right? Human beings, we act in accordance to what can benefit us when it's tied to our reproduction and when it's tied to our survival value, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if it's the case that, this hypothetically speaking, if it's the case that, a bunch of men gathered around, built a nation, and they said, you know what? Might makes correct, because graping, stealing, murder, and all of these things is going to benefit our survival value and our reproduction value. I'm asking you, would that be correct?
Like, would they be correct in their assessment?
Would they be correct in their assessment and their actions? Would it be correct?
So I would not think they're correct in their assessment, because grape, murder, and theft is really bad for societies. Like, and bad in the sense that they're not.
Wait, what? You keep on going back to bad. In your worldview, there is no bad.
No, and I said bad as in not cohesive for reproduction or survival. Like,
But wait, how are you saying that is not cohesive when it's basically all what benefits people?
That is not evolutionary beneficial. Grape, murder, and theft is not evolutionary beneficial at all.
Wait, how do you know that it's not evolutionary beneficial when everything is all a chain of events that's accidental?
Because those things promote violence, and violence typically short circuits lifespans. So when people are getting killed,
but life is accidental itself. How can you make a claim and say that? Listen, it's very simple. Listen. No, you got yourself in a pickle here.
If people are dying, they're not reproducing or surviving, are they?
Totally fine. If people are dying and they're not reproducing, then from your worldview, then that is not in accordance to evolution.
As evolution now, that would not be in accordance to evolution.
How is it not in accordance to evolution when evolution is a chain of events that's accidental? Like, you're here for no reason. What are you talking about?
I know. I see what you're saying. So you're saying that, are you asking why do these things happen?
I'm not. So
like,
no.
Sorry, are you asking me an explanatory reason? Or
no.
Nope. Okay.
No.
Justification?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Is it correct?
Is it correct within evolution?
Is it correct within, if everything is accidental, everything has no purpose, everything has no meaning? So if a group of men came together, I'm going to rape, steal, murder, and kill, do whatever I want. It's anarchy. Is that correct in their action and in their assessment with evolution if everything is accidental and has no meaning or purpose?
So I'll answer twofold. It is incorrect in the assessment, but it would be correct in like what they do. Because you're right, their traits and their desires was caused by evolution to do that.
How is it incorrect in their assessment?
Because those genes probably would not survive long. Those sort of societies tend to fall apart. People tend to die young. People tend to not reproduce. So
what's the purpose of genes?
Those genes don't get passed on. Like,
what's the purpose of genes? What's the purpose of passing on genes?
That's what do you mean? Sorry?
What's the purpose of passing on genes?
What's the purpose of passing on genes? There's no purpose to that. That's just what happens.
Okay, so then there's no purpose to it. It's just what happens.
Yeah, but I'm saying factually.
And it happens.
I'm saying factually.
Accidental.
Those genes would not pass on. Those genes would likely die out.
Totally fine. So there's no purpose for it. It's just all accidental.
Those genes would just die out. So that's why I'm saying they'd be wrong in their assessment that would be beneficial for their genes to survive long term. That's why I'm saying they'd be incorrect in the assessment.
If everything is accidental, how can you assess if something is correct?
If everything is well, that doesn't follow. If things can be accidental, and you can still assess if things are correct or not. I mean, again, reason. You can use logic. That's
accidental. How do you know that the reason and the logic that they're using the results, the outcomes is correct?
Because what you're saying is basically, can we trust our senses? Because if all of evolution is accidental, how do I know that my senses evolved to be accurate? Right? They could have totally been evolved to be inaccurate, and for all I know, I'm doing something completely different. But I'm imagining I'm debating you. Correct?
You're not answering my question. You're just describing. You're just describing like sense data and stuff like this. Real quick, listen.
Okay,
go ahead.
I'm trying to steel man your position there.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
I don't think that we can have that in foundationalism. No, I don't think that we can know that ultimately.
Okay.
I don't think we'd be able to know that from a true philosophical bedrock.
Okay, so then you don't truly know if we can know if something is correct.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can ground foundationalism. No.
Okay, so then you are in a full logical contradiction. 2 plus 2 in your worldview does not equal 4.
So it does, depending on.
No, it doesn't. Everything is accidental. It does not equal 4.
No. Not math. I mean, like the physical world. Math is.
You have nothing to ground the transcendental categories for. You have nothing to ground it. I asked you to justify. No, you didn't. You didn't ground it. I asked you when we were speaking. When I was giving a internal critique in your worldview, and we were speaking about the transcendentals in the beginning of the podcast during this debate. You gave no account and no justification for transcendentals. You said that, once again, I said that your argument is circular, just like you said that mine is circular. I said, well, how did everything come into an existence? You said that's just necessary. Well, why is it necessary? Because it's necessary for everything to exist. So therefore it's circular, right? Okay, got it. I'm asked. So you gave no justification to ground listen.
You're confusing logic.
No. I'm not confusing.
Hang on, Tyler. Let him land his plane, and then we'll let you respond, man.
You are in a full contradiction now, bro. This is the end of this debate. I'll be honest with you, and I'll explain. So, from your worldview, you just admitted that everything is accidental. Currently, now you've admitted that there's no purpose, there's no meaning. In the beginning of the conversation, you said that I don't believe in good or bad. I think morality doesn't even exist. I said, oh, okay, well, that's a truth claim. You believe in truth? Yeah, I believe in knowledge. Okay. So you're making an epistemic claim, a knowledge claim. You believe in knowledge. You believe in language. You believe in numbers. You believe in all of these things that are unchanging. I asked you if 2 plus 2 always equal 4. You said, yes, it does always equals 4. But you gave no justification on how it equals 4. Always. Then now you just admit, you gave no justification. Now you just admit that everything is accidental. I'm asking you, well, is anything ever correct? You said that, well, no, from my worldview, nothing is really ever. You did, man. Now you're lying. Real quick. I just land my plane real quick. Now you're lying real quick. Yeah. I asked you, well, can things ever be correct? You said that, well, no. I can never, we would never truly know from my worldview if something is actually correct. So then I said, well, real quick, that's a contradiction from your earlier statement. So then 2 plus 2 doesn't always equals 4 because it could be incorrect.
Okay, can I land my plane now?
Booyah. That's the end of this debate.
Can I land my plane?
Go ahead,
Tyler. Go ahead, Tyler. And look, Tyler, you seem to be a real polite guy. Cooley and I are both fans of blood sport debating.
Yeah, it's blood sport debate.
I'm a lot more blood sport than he is most of the time. So just feel free. You can call him a bug-eyed liar too if you want to. Let's hear your response, man. Let's hear you.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Okay, so Pilot Tyler's coming in. He's flying in for the landing. So this is how I believe the debate went. I believe almost immediately Cooley came to a circular definition of his position of God.
So what? You did too.
Oh, I thought we're letting the pilot land.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tyler. Go ahead, Tyler.
So this pilot's landing. There might be some turbulence, buddy, but it's okay. So God, you define that God is good, and good is God. That is ultimately a circular definition. Now, you're trying to claim that my definitions are circular too, but even if I grant that, that still makes your position illogical. So maybe we're both incorrect in what we're saying, but that doesn't follow that you are therefore justified or correct. Because
real quick, if something is circular, how does that make it illogical, though? You're making the claim, if something is circular, it doesn't make it illogical. You would have to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
I thought the pilot was landing.
Okay, I'm gonna give you let's say a minute and a half to get your plane landed.
Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
I will land this. Okay, so yes, ultimately, you use the circular definition, which is a logical fallacy for a reason. Even if you grant that I did, which I don't think I did, we're both just incorrect then. So you're incorrect in your position that you can ground morality and God. When I'm saying things like we can be wrong about our senses. That doesn't mean that there's no such thing as truth claims. It just means that we have the potential to be wrong. And typically with truth claims, I'm talking about claims such as the physical world, not mathematical ones, because that is more about contradictions or things that have to be necessarily true rather than necessarily false. Which I said in the beginning that logic is necessary to, like, it's just necessary. It's necessary claims. Where contingent claims have to do claims that are dependent on the physical world, where we have to trust our senses in. All I can see is that can we ultimately have a justification to trust our senses, which we cannot. It is ultimately contingent on that assumption that we can trust our senses. But it does not follow from that, then therefore mathematical claims are true. Because we don't necessarily use our senses for that, we use logic for that. Those are two different tools.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. So, and that's perfect for stating that back. So it's very simple, right? Since you don't use your senses for math, right? That's what you're claiming. You don't use your senses for logic. That's what you're claiming, right?
Yeah.
So you don't use you don't use your physical body. Seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, hearing, your 5 senses. You don't use this physical body.
There's actually 7, but yeah, I know what you mean.
It could be some other ones too, sure.
Yeah.
You don't use these senses, but from your worldview, everything evolved over time and it's just an effect of different events.
Yeah.
That is accidental.
Yes, but that doesn't mean math is accidental.
Okay, totally fine. If you can't ground math, logic, reason, and the physical, I'm asking you, Tyler, just like the beginning of the show where you couldn't answer it. Where do you ground it in? Where do you ground it in a rock? Do you ground it in some like magic? Where do you ground?
I ground it in a bag of grapes. No,
where do you ground it in?
So I ground logic is just rules that are either necessarily true or necessarily false. It's for contradiction. It's just it's not in the mind, but they exist necessarily. I use the physical world as an example of how you can justify these things.
No. You didn't use the physical just because you are saying that there's utility. I don't think you're understanding my question real quick, Tyler.
Yeah, of course. Sorry.
You're saying that there's utility and like we use logic and reason as a tool. We get utility out of using logic and reason and math. 2 + 2 = 4 because it gives us utility. I'm asking you, just because it gives us utility, you still stated that these transcendental categories are unchanging. It doesn't change, right? What you believe in is everything came from Big Bang Theory dimension.
I didn't say that, but I know what you mean.
Oh, yeah, that's what basically you said. A Big Bang happened there. This is a different dimension. The Big Bang is always happening. One just happened right now.
The theory of time, I said, not that.
Well, that's what that means.
I don't think it's that. Go on.
That's how you described it.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be interrupting you. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. It's very simple, man. You're in a contradiction. I'm going to say it again clearly, and then we're going to get to the chats. Yeah, then we're going to get to the chats as well, and we can like end it with an opening statement. You know what? Let's do that now, actually. Okay. Let's do closing statements, because then I can wrap this up with closing statements, and then also we'll get to the chats.
Okay. Do you want to start? I started with the opening statements.
Right.
Yeah. I'll start with the closing. Totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, chat. Well, this was a good spirited debate. I thank Tyler for coming out and joining me on this debate tonight. In the beginning, what you witnessed is, Tyler attacking my position and saying that, well, how do you ground morality? I said that, well, I ground it in God, and God is good. God sets the standard for good. And the reason why it's grounded in God is because it's unchanging. God is divine. God is omniscient. God is unchanging. So that's how it's grounded. It's unmovable. He says that, well, morality doesn't exist at all. Okay, well, it just doesn't exist. It's all feelings based. Everything is feelings based. So then he also says that he believes in evolution theory. And he's making claims that, well, everything, all of existence is just a chain of random events that's accidental. He says that it has no purpose, it has no meaning. I asked him, well, can something be correct? He says that Well, nothing can be correct because it's all accidental. So then from his worldview, if nothing can be correct, then how can he also make a claim that, well, morality doesn't exist? If nothing is correct from his worldview, how would he even know? From his worldview, how does he even know that he's making coherent sentences right now? From his worldview, how does he truly know 2 + 2 = 4, where he claims that it always equals 4? Well, from evolution theory, things are always changing and evolving over time, but he's appealing to something that never changes. He says that math never changes. He says that logic and reason, these things do not change. Knowledge does not change. Information, can you find information in a banana? No, you can't find information in a banana. These type of things that is metaphysical is not in the physical realm he appeals to. Okay, well, that's a contradiction in itself if you believe that everything came from the physical. How can you believe in the non-physical? Contradiction there. Second contradiction. Oh, I believe that 2 + 2 always equals 2. Oh, the next thing he says, well, nothing's never correct. Everything's always accidental. Well, then from your worldview, 2 + 2 doesn't always equal 2. So from this debate, I would say that Tyler fully lost. He didn't disprove how morality isn't grounded in God. He had the affirmative position. He made no affirmative position. He made no affirmative claims. He made no arguments to back up his affirmative position because he could be incorrect. There's no correctness within his worldview. Zero correctness at all. 2 + 2 doesn't always equal 2. Nothing is correct. Matter of fact, he's probably not even a white man in his worldview. He probably think he black. He thinks that he's 50 Cent. Not only that, he also believes that an apple can change to an orange from his worldview, because it isn't always correct that the orange is an orange. It's accidental, and things evolve over time. So it can accidentally be that an orange can change to an apple. His worldview is nonsensical, and he made no justifications for logic, reason, or any of these transcendental categories at all. End of the debate. The floor is yours, Tyler.
All right. Well, first of all, God bless you, Cooley, as always. So yeah, I'll just, Cooley said a lot. I'll leave it at that. The audience watched the debate. You guys can drive what you believe came from that. Obviously, I have my positions. Cooley has his. We were mostly, I think, just restating what we think happened. So I'll leave you with like one more affirmative case that I think shows that you cannot ground morality from God, and then I will leave it at that. So Cooley's ultimate position is that God's nature is good, and good is God. Therefore, basically, things are good. Good exists because of that. The issue with that argument, though, ultimately, is that there's two main possibilities from this. Basically, is God's nature good in virtue of God having it, which would just be another semblance of divine command theory, and it ultimately becomes arbitrary, because all you mean by good, then, is essentially God's will or God's command, right? And that makes it arbitrary, and it could be anything. And the reason why I brought the phonic term between world A and world B is because that if that's the true position to take of divine command, and you guys can look this up, of course, I always encourage you to do your own research, it's arbitrariness. And you're adding an extra metaphysical tact onto it, almost a metaphysical decoration to say, well, then, therefore, there's moral facts. Or you can take the alternative, which Cooley kind of did at the end, where he said that, well, in God's nature, he wouldn't allow for things like rape, murder, and theft. But what you're recognizing there is there's actually things independent of God that are bad. That rape, murder, and theft would be bad regardless of God or not. And God is just recognizing them. And that is, I believe, Cooley's ultimate position. And if that's the case, you actually don't need God for morality. Now, I know Cooley said that, well, you can't have anything without God, and you can't actually have an evil creator. That's somehow logically impossible, which he did not demonstrate. And I asked him multiple times. But, in fact, you can conceive of that, and it would not follow. Perhaps maybe Cooley and I have a bigger disagreement on if God exists or not, and maybe one day him and I can have a chat about that, if God's real or not at all, because I think that would be an interesting conversation too. He seems like a very nice and smart guy. I had a great time speaking with Cooley. with Dane, I had a great time you moderating, and the audience, I wasn't reading the chats. Even if you were hard on me, I'm sure you guys are all really cool, and I'm glad you're supporting debate, and I had a great time.
Great, man. I appreciate you being here too. And I got to say, I appreciate you behaving like a relatively civilized person. Sometimes we have people on your side of the spectrum and they just act like gorillas, so I appreciate that. If I could ask you a question, if I could kind of step out of my moderator role for a minute and ask you a question, your answer to your response to what would be wrong with unaliving people or stealing or graping them or that, whatever, is that it would not be beneficial to evolution or whatever. So my question to you is, so what?
So yeah, let me just be more clear in my position. I wasn't saying that's why it's bad. I'm giving you an explanatory reason of why we feel that's bad.
No. He asked you if that would be good, and you said, well, it wouldn't be beneficial. That was
beneficial to reproduction and stuff like that.
Right. So my question is, so what?
Why? So what?
Like if everything is accidental, so what?
Yeah. Why?
And purposeless, so what?
Why would it be in your mindset? Why would it be desirable, I would say good, for things to be beneficial to reproduction?
Well, I never said it would be desirable. I'm just trying to answer you factually if it would be beneficial to a
but what he asked you,
survival.
his question was, would that be good to have a society running like that? Would that be good? And your response was, well, it wouldn't be beneficial.
Then if that's what he asked, I totally misunderstood and mischaracterized it. I thought by good he meant, is this good in the sense that it will encourage reproduction and survival. Not that this is like a good thing to happen. I did not realize that was a question. I apologize that I did not understand it, but that would be my answer essentially. So what? I agree with you, Dane, on that. Like, so what? I was just answering like, okay, would things like, murder and theft be beneficial for reproduction and survival? I think not. I think there's plenty of evidence.
Would it be better for things to be beneficial for reproduction in society? Would that be
no,
better?
I don't. I don't think that's true or false. Who cares?
So am I understanding that your worldview is basically similar to Horton Hears a Who, where we're all just sort of floating around on a metaphysical speck of dust, and que sera, sera, sort of like the Taoist with the yin and the yang, that there is no good or bad, there's just decisions and outcomes, and que sera, sera.
Look, I don't know Horton Hears a Who, but I can go with that for now. Sure. From the way you described it, yeah, sure. There's no meaning. I do think we're just like a speck of dust in the universe. That is my position. Yeah.
You know what? And Tyler, you got to be done exactly at 8, right?
I could probably squeeze it to like 8:10 if there's more things going. But
okay, yeah. So I was gonna open up the panel as well. Anyone that wants to join stream, I'll go ahead and put the link.
And again, this has been really fun, great. You guys have been awesome.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming, man. It's been fun.
I think that it would have been a little more interesting if we would have had a clearer prompt to start with. I think with you taking a pseudo-negative but still positive position, it made it difficult to kind of get an argument rolling.
That was but that's what I said. This is my position with the account that reached out to me. But like, I'll be more clear next time of like what's going on. I feel very bad about that, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. It's all good. Yeah, it was because I when you said it backstage, I was looking through the messages like, you didn't say that. You just said that, you don't think that like it will be possible, but you didn't take like a position that like you don't think that it exists.
That's I should be more clear next time.
It's totally okay, because then I just would have had a different argument. But it's totally fine. I think everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out, right? Or in your worldview, everything was accidental.
Everything was accidental, man. We're just here smiling. That's all.
What I'm coming away with, Tyler, is from your worldview that there is no real meaning or purpose to existence.
Yes. Yeah. You are correct in that.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and put the link in the YouTube comments. If anyone wants to come on up and ask myself or Tyler any questions, come on up. Once again, click the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments, and you can come on up and ask a question. We're only allowing, you got about 2 minutes to come on up because we don't have a whole lot of time. So we'll take a few callers, But click the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments if you want to ask myself or Tyler a question. I'll get to these super chats though, since we're waiting for people to come backstage. We got Uncle Tyga sends in $20. Appreciate the support, Tyga. Tyga says, shouts out to Cooley, Tyga. Cooley, Tyler, and Dane. Good debate tonight. Tyler, if you haven't already, tell us where people can find you.
So, guys, I'm not a content creator. I'm not going to give too much of my personal life, but I'm very happy with what I'm doing. You can follow me on at Tyler Kakuno on Instagram, so Kakuno. That's why I said I'm not a white man. I'm half Japanese, actually. But I've done some Jubilee debates. So I've debated Ben Shapiro and I've debated Piers Morgan on both the respective episodes. So if you want more content of me talking about this sort of stuff, you can go find me there. And I believe I have an interview coming out with Jubilee again, talking about my interview or my debate with Piers coming in the next couple of weeks or so. So that's it. TYLERKAKUNO. Thank you.
Sounds good. We got Tyga again sends in $2. He says, by the way, Cooley, are we opening up the panel? Yeah, we are opening up the panel. The link is in the comments now. You can come on and join the stream and ask any questions that you want. We got Sammy sends in $5. The math for society with no moral worldview means it's correct to unalive the old and yeah, man, that's what it means, man. Since there's no purpose and no meaning in Tyler's worldview, then yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, there's
unalive
no justification
people
against
and
that. Yeah.
How do you derive your socio-political positions? How do you derive them outside of my preferences when it comes to what you believe is good and bad, right or wrong? Because I mean, somewhere in your mind.
So I'll answer it. So are you guys aware of the philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein? Have you heard of him before?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so Wittgenstein talks a lot about these concepts. And one of the things he recognizes in philosophy is there's something called the context theory of knowledge. So sometimes when you're having discussions, there's always like a predicated assumptions before going in. So like a good example of this, if we're talking about can we trust our senses? If we're talking about was O.J. Simpson guilty of murder? It would be inappropriate for someone to say, well, how do we know O.J. Simpson exists? Can you even trust your senses? Right? That's not within the purview of the legal conversation. Before you have a legal discussion, you have to grant that you can trust your senses and things like that. So when we talk about politics, I also appeal to the context theory of knowledge. When we're talking about politics, we'll kind of grant that there's some form of morality out there or some form of applied ethics that we will ultimately push from. And I think in politics, it's then inappropriate to be how do we even know these morals or ethics are true?
Am I understanding you correctly that when it comes to the pragmatism of you living your life in a peaceful, cohesive society, that you borrow from mine and Cooley's worldview when it comes to morality? You borrow from our worldview that there is morality that is objective, even though you believe it's not objective, and then you develop your positions from that.
Yeah, exactly. So I think when I'm having a philosophical discussion, I will have the philosophical discussion. But when I live my life, I'm a very good neighbor. I'm not going around stealing from people. I'm not murdering anyone. I'm definitely not raping anyone. So yeah, if that answers your question, Dave.
Okay. We got Witkid sends in $20. Witkid in here supporting, man. I appreciate the support. He says, Tyler, your morals are just your feelings and preferences. How can everything be an accident when too many things in life are such precision and are too unlikely to happen by chance? That's a good question.
So no, that's a fantastic question, actually. So I think what this person's getting at is what's known as the design argument or fine-tuning argument from God or from a creator's perspective to include these things. And where I would challenge that person is rather than that is assumptions that time is not infinite or eternal, and that the size of the universe. Because I agree with you. It does seem very unlikely for all these things to happen by accident. But if you shake the Scrabble box enough, eventually the letters will come out to spell a certain formula. And that's how I believe the universe ultimately is, due to its size and due to its eternality. And that's why I think when you look at most points in the universe, it's empty.
How do you know that the words would come out normal if you shake the box? How do you know that that's the case?
What do you mean if they'll come out normally?
You said if you shake the Scrabble box enough that a word will eventually come out. I'm asking you, how do you know?
Oh, just mathematically, right? It's like the same concept of like you had a monkey on a typewriter for infinity. It eventually writes Shakespeare. It's that sort of concept.
So you don't know. It's just an idea that you think will probably happen.
It's a theory for sure, but like logically.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Tyler. Does like math, logic, reason, these metaphysical categories, do they have a different ontology than us and a different nature than humans?
Yeah.
They do. Okay, so they have a different ontology, a different nature.
Yeah.
And where is that? Where is it found? If it's not found in the physical world, then where do you find it?
I don't understand what you mean by where do you find it. It's just something that we kind of discover intellectually, but it probably also exists whether there's someone there to recognize it or not.
Okay, so it exists whether someone there's there to recognize it or not, but morality doesn't?
Yeah, because I think that morality would have like no effect on any sort of the physical world, where I believe math ultimately would. And that's like the distinction I make. Well, that's why I call like morals more of a metaphysical declaration, where I think that something like math and logic is a metaphysical necessity.
But every time someone makes a moral claim, they're utilizing they're making an epistemic claim, because they're making a clear distinction that, oh, something is right or wrong, something is good or bad. They're utilizing like reason to do this.
Yeah.
So how can one be divorced from another?
Well, I believe when they're doing reason to do this, that they're just ultimately incorrect, right? Like even you, like there's other people who claim to be moral.
Yeah, that's because there's no correctness, right?
So yeah, some people are.
Got it. There's no correctness. That makes sense, though. If there's no correctness, then
no correctness with moral statements.
But there's no correctness with math either. Then
no, because that does not follow.
Well, listen. If there's no correctness with moral statements, if there's no correctness with a moral statement, and they're utilizing reason, deductive reason, to get to this conclusion, whether something is right or wrong, good or bad, then how can you separate the two if you have to utilize, like, you get what I'm saying?
No,
From your worldview, you have to utilize that.
No, I totally get what you're saying.
Okay.
But I think there's still a distinction, because I agree that you can have like moral statements, and so far they're like logical syllogisms. Like stealing is wrong, Tyler stole, therefore Tyler is wrong. If I grant those premises, the conclusion naturally follows that is a logical sentence, that is a logical syllogism. However, what I would call into question, just because the logical equation is true, it doesn't mean the actual moral facts of it are true. That is an extra jump. So yeah, that logical equation does exist, but that was with the presumption that the premises are true.
So then why do they make those conclusions? Why do people utilize reason and logic to make a conclusion whether something is, from your worldview, whether something is either right or wrong or good or bad?
Because
why do they do it?
Humans have primarily evolved to use reason and to use their brains for survival. So one of the byproducts of that is we are interested in those sorts of questions, and we'll use the same logic and reason that we do to survive to answer these questions.
But if it's the case that when human beings are utilizing logic and reason, it's just not a chemical within their brain. You're actually saying that it has a different ontology, right?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay, so when human beings utilize logic and reason, it's a tool that's not within the mind. It's a tool that the mind is grabbing from another category that shares a different ontology.
To put it like, I understand.
Yeah, that has a different ontology. Okay.
Yeah, sure, yes.
So then my question is, if human beings are utilizing their minds to get to this other thing, to be reasonable and to be logical, and how is that separate from them getting to something is right or wrong?
How is that separate? Because
how is it separate from your worldview?
So from my worldview, the reason why it's separate is because when we use logic for other things, especially with the physical world, these have tangible implications, where I don't think that's the case with moral statements. Because we can be totally incorrect
Because you can be incorrect. Okay.
Yeah, we can be
By
totally
utilizing logic and reason, you can be incorrect, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, so if you can be incorrect by utilizing logic and reason, then morals from your emotivism worldview, because you're tying a few different worldviews in there, then it's just based off of feelings.
So no, emotivism is purely feelings. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so then good and bad is just purely feelings, right?
Yeah, it's just an emotional expression. Yeah.
But the emotional expression, this is coming from the physical.
Yes.
So then it's circular.
Well, it's
So
not true,
listen, I'll demonstrate it.
It's not true but I agree with you. It's incoherent. You're right. Like I don't think it's doing any truth claiming. It's just like saying it's booing or crying a statement. It's like, well, not really. It's just an expression.
No, what I'm saying is this. If it's the case from your worldview, and we got a Wit Kid, I'm going to bring you up, and we got Tyler again, going to bring you up. I just want to get an answer to this.
Yeah, of course.
If it's the case that human beings, they perceive the good and the bad, it derives from their feelings. So it's a physical thing. And then this physical thing is always, it's random. It's accidental. It's all of these things, right? Then it's just very coherent. It's like I'm actually trying to make sense of it for you, but I can't even make sense of it because that is so incoherent.
So like it is very complicated. I totally agree. I'm not that, and that's why I said at the beginning I'm kind of a soft emotivist. My main cohort is non-cognitivism, and I think that emotivism has strong explanatory power, but by no means do I think emotivism is perfect. But I would say non-cognitivism is my ultimate position with that. If that
okay,
helps.
so wait, real quick. Then why isn't logic and reason just a fill-in?
Because those are necessary truth. They're not feelings. Logic and reason have to be true given the premises and conclusions. That's all what logic and like math and reason are.
Why?
Yeah, but that would be like, why would they have to be?
Yeah, why would they have to be?
Because
true?
they lead to contradiction, and contradiction is possible.
But everything is accidental anyway, so why would it matter?
But even things are accidental. Like you can't have like you can't have like, what's a good example of contradiction? Like a tall short man, right? Like that's not possible. Oh, hello, people are joining.
Yeah, we got some people in here to join. Okay. Well, let's get to let's get to Tiger first. You was in here. You got a question for myself or Tyler?
Yeah, and if this is redundant, then just boot me out of here. Earlier, when we were talking about what's beneficial for society, Tyler, how do you know what's good? How do you know what's beneficial for society if you don't believe in good or bad? Isn't beneficial a synonym for good?
So yeah, that's why I kept saying that it's beneficial in terms of reproduction and survival. So hold on. Yeah. Why should we strive for reproduction and survival?
Oh,
I never said we should strive for it. I'm just giving you the explanatory power of it. I agree. Like who cares? Like what's the point? Who cares?
So you don't think that the human race should continue?
I'm indifferent towards it. Like I don't think it's good or bad.
So you're an anti-natalist then, or?
Well, an anti-natalist would probably have more of like a position saying it should not continue. I'm saying I'm indifferent towards it. But
okay, and why is that?
Why am I indifferent towards it?
Yeah.
Because I don't believe in moral claims.
You don't believe in? Well, that's a moral claim in itself. How do you not believe in more?
Well, no, that's a metaphysical claim, but I don't think it's a moral claim.
That is okay. Should there be humans or should there not be humans?
I don't care. I'm indifferent. It's not either or. It's like whatever you want. I don't care.
Okay, so then you're a nihilist.
I'm sympathetic to nihilism.
You're sympathetic to nihilism?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's really all I had.
Yeah. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah. Hey, man. Hey, good debate, man. I mean, I disagree with you. I think you're wrong, but you've been good faith. Most Jubilee debaters that we've had here are just like Spurg machines, and you've done really well. So
okay, I appreciate. I appreciate that. It is
I think that the difference is, I think the same part of Tyler's IQ that makes him indifferent to whether or not humans exist or not also prevents him from identifying his correctness in an argument with his own self-worth. And that's what you usually run into on that side of the socio-political persuasion, is their ideas or how they value their own self. So when you start tearing down their ideas, they spurg out and get mad at you. And Tyler, I think that, like I said, the same thing that keeps him from caring if people exist keeps him from getting emotionally involved in his ideas. So it actually ends up a benefit.
Yes. Yeah, that might be it. But no, I love philosophical.
My bad. What kid? Any questions?
Sorry about that. My son acting up right now. So if I go back to my super chat, what I said. So you realize that there's you think that everything happened by chance, or is it only some things that happen by chance?
I think everything happened by chance.
Everything. So everything we do is just by chance, and that's it, right there.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a chef. Okay, and let me tell you something. When you're baking foods, nothing is by chance. You have to be exact and precise on your measurements, on your time, on everything. Nothing can happen by chance. So if everything happened by chance, there would be no baking in food industry. You realize that, right?
So my response to that, and this is probably where we'd run into a deeper disagreement too, I'm sure with Cooley, is that, well, that presupposes free will, right? Because I think it's by chance that you care about the things to follow those measurements. It's by chance that you're doing that. So you think that it's very intentional, but it's because by chance you want to have these specific measurements.
No, it's not intentional. If I add too much baking soda into a cookie mix, it doesn't come out right. If I add too much oil, too much flour, any kind of recipe, if you don't do it precisely, not by chance, any kind of alteration ruins the whole entire recipe.
I agree with that, but I'm saying the fact that you're caring and you have the knowledge to do that is by chance because you happen to be a type of person who wanted to.
What does that have to do with what I said?
What is that? I'm saying that's what's by chance, but that's because I'm denying the.
No, I'm not talking about whether I care about that or not. I'm talking about the fact that if I change a recipe by any little bit, no matter what, that recipe no longer exists. So therefore, it can't happen by chance. But it has to be precise.
But also, if you actually seem like a pretty intelligent person, but if I knocked your IQ down by 30 points, that would also probably.
I'd still be over 100.
Sorry.
Still be over 100. Still be smarter than your average person.
If I knocked it down by 80 points, then you would probably not be smart enough to be a chef, right? And you probably wouldn't have the precise measurements. And I think your IQ was largely due to chance.
But those measurements would still be exact. Whether I knew that or not, it's irrelevant because the person who knows that, it's working for them. It doesn't happen by chance.
Those people probably had a high IQ, like yourself, which would be done by chance because it would be done by their environment, which they didn't choose, and it would be done by their genetics, which they also didn't choose.
There's still a precise measurement. If you can't change, if it just happened by chance, that means I could do it many different ways and it could still happen. It can only happen one way.
Oh, so
how is that chance?
I see what you're saying. So I think that non-biological things, they are not by chance. I thought we were referring to that all biological beings and their evolutionary
when I said everything we do and everything we create, you said.
You know what, my friend, that was my mistake. I misunderstood the question. Okay, that was my bad.
Okay, well, I mean that makes a little more sense to me now because when I say everything we create, that just makes no sense because you can't create things by chance. There has to be.
Okay. Yeah. No. Something. Yeah, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah, the biological part, I would say is by chance. But when you're talking about basements, can baking powder and stuff do that by chance? Well, no. These are chemical things that are precise, as you said.
Real quick,
that's the question, though. I appreciate that.
Tyler, is the laws of logic by chance? Is it accidental?
Oh, that's too tough of a question for me to answer.
Good question.
That is a deep philosophical question. It's kind of like asking how do we know true or false even exist, right? There are these really deep philosophical questions, and I promise you, as somebody who studied philosophy, as someone who has a degree in philosophy, I do not know the answer to that.
Okay, so I just find it you don't know if the laws of logic are accidental or by chance, but you do make universal claims that 1 + 1 always equal 2, 2 + 2 always equal 4.
Yeah.
Logic.
And I do gotta get going 1 minute too. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted some clarity on that. So if it's the case that everything is accidental, but you're not sure if the laws of logic is accidental. You're not sure if math theory is accidental. You're not sure if knowledge is accidental. Then that's true, right? Like you're just not sure if they're accidental.
Yeah, I'm not sure if like the laws of logic within the universe were accidental or not. I mean, like, I would be very shocked if they were purposeful in any way, but it depends what you mean. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But if the universe was ordered accidental, but those aren't accidental, how can it be ordered in a logical way? That was going to be my question.
This is because I'm not an atheist who says that God is impossible. I do think it's possible God exists. I do think it's possible that God ordered things. I just think it's less likely. But that's why I said, can I be sure that the laws of logic are an accident? No, I can't be sure of that. Do you see what I'm saying there?
Can I ask you a question real quick, Tyler? I know you got to go, man.
Yeah.
Now, back in the 40s, the Axis powers during World War II did a lot of medical experiments on POWs. Yeah. And because of that, we have a lot of our cardiac types treatments that we have today, because those experiments had to be done on living people, had to be able to like observe how the heart worked while it was still beating. In the West, primarily, we would say that that was an immoral thing to be done. However, because we have all the benefits, it's beneficial to us, then many people would say, well, it was necessary. It was necessary to be done. Mm-hmm. In the minds of the Japanese scientists and leaders and the German scientists and leaders, they were of such high IQ, Joseph Mengele and those guys, of such high IQ, they were able to separate to whatever extent in their mind that the cause of scientific advancement is what's important and not the violation of individual rights or moral statements. So I'm asking you, in your position, when you say it doesn't matter whether humans exist or not, in that sort of a situation, would you say that performing those experiments on even unwilling specimens, but especially the brutality and gore of it, would you say that that was a moral, immoral, good, bad, right, wrong thing for those people to do to those people?
No, I mean, like, no. Morally, because I'm a moral materialist, no, I would not say that's immoral or anything like that. But as like an individual, my subjective feelings, I find that stuff disgusting, right? Like, I would find that repulsive and so forth.
For no reason, though.
Yeah, I think that those feelings are by chance because of how I evolved. I still have them, and I would never want to associate with people who do that. Probably not even people who are like okay with that sort of stuff. But yeah, that would be my position. But
okay. Well, Tyler, I appreciate the time, man. Appreciate the time you gave tonight. I know I seen through DMs and stuff, you're open to debating other topics as well. So
yeah, we can do something more concrete and less like philosophical next time, so there's more clarity, perhaps.
Yeah, no, I'm down for the philosophical debates as well. We can do another one. But yeah, I'll go ahead and message you. My team will reach out. We'll go ahead and set something up for another time. And appreciate you for coming, man.
Thank you guys so much. I hope everyone has a fantastic day.
All right, man. Have a blessed one.
Thank you so much.
All right, Dane.
Yeah, we need to bring him on over to the philosophical debates. We got to bring him over on his philosophy, man. That's what we want.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we want. The thing is, I just wasn't prepared for my opening was totally different for the debate, because I was gonna go with that's why my opening was very quick. But I was just gonna go with because I was thinking like he can ground it, so I was gonna go with are you grounding it in are you utilitarianism? I was gonna go in so many other different directions, but since basically I think at the end. It worked out to be pretty a banger at the end.
Well, one thing I got to say, and I've kind of said this in a sense already, is the guy's clearly an intelligent guy. We're not debating an idiot who read a book or a blog and thinks he knows something. He obviously has thought about this, and he obviously has an IQ that he's formulated it. But I think in the original, what we should have done probably when we came on was just canned his idea of a prompt and swapped over with you the affirmative. That there is right and wrong and good and bad, and then
that would have been
that.
Yeah. But I think overall, I caught him in three performative logical contradictions where it defeated his arguments as far as the claims that he made. But we got people in here. Tyga, I see your super chat. Let me go ahead and read it. And I guess, I mean, I'm fine with open the panel up, but let me go to these super chats real quick. Dane, you could stay up, man.
Good. Deidre will be glad to hear that.
Where are we at? Okay. Tyga sends in $10. He says, Cooley, I want to respect Tyler's time, but if you could turn this into open debate after he leaves, that would be great. I'm itching for screen time and attention, LOL. If not, cool. Just a suggestion. Yeah, we'll go ahead and open the panel up. So if anyone wants to join the stream tonight, open panel debate night. If we got any atheists in here, feel free to click the first link that's pinned in the YouTube comments. I'll be glad to bring you up if you guys want to continue to debate this topic here. Or if you want to debate about anything, you know, if you're just like, Cooley, I think you're wrong, you're an idiot, man, come on up. So yeah, we could do that too. So currently right now, we'll go ahead and switch it over to open panel debate night. I'll go ahead and, Dane, I'll go ahead and throw you backstage right now. But once we get some people backstage, I'll bring you right on up.
Let me say real quick, if I can.
Sure.
I do think it's good how you brought out from him how he ended up having to admit what I, reiterated when he got finished, that when it comes down to actually his ideas living in society, he has to borrow from our world
from Christian
to come
ethics.
up with any kind of moral positions.
Yeah.
You see, he had to borrow from us. So I do think that we made some inroads right there. It's just, we're dealing with an intellect. That's why I brought up the World War II stuff. Because when you get to a certain level of IQ, morality just is inconceivable to those brains. But okay, you can put me backstage, man.
All right, man. Let's see what we got here. Some people, and once again, anyone that's coming up, make sure your audio is on, camera is on as well. See who this is. Welcome to No Fugazee Podcast. State your name and what do you want to debate about. You're muted.
Sorry, man. I was just waiting here for the rest of the guys because I saw a lot of anti-slavery stuff. I saw a lot of anti-Bible stuff, so I'm definitely interested in getting in there.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I'll put you backstage until we get some more people up. Hey, listen, man, don't be scared, bro. It's open panel debate night. If you share a different worldview than Christianity, if you're an atheist, if you're a feminist, if you are a leftist, if you're like, oh, I hate Trump, I hate conservatives, and whatever you are, you guys understand my worldview to a degree. So if you think that, you have a different opinion or a different perspective than mine, come on up, join the panel. We'll go ahead and start a debate. It's open. We didn't prepare for this, but, we'll make it open panel debate night. Why not? Let me see if I got any other super chats in here. No other super, let me see. No other super chats. Okay, well, I'm sure I probably got some clips to react to until, wait, we do got some other super chats in here. Let me get to them. Hold up. Almost missed y'all. Let's see. We got Jason's on $5. Been rocking with you for a while. Just want to say thank you, my brother, for everything you do. And Mr. Let Go, I'm still on you. Happy New Year. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support. Shout outs to you. We got, let's see here. We got Tyga backstage supporting the channel. I appreciate you, Tyga. He says, Dane is right. Their moral system is literally Christianity minus God / Jesus plus Coom. Yeah, that's what it is. And, that's something that I would have utilized in my opening statement. And I think that we got to do a better job. I take fault on that, full accountability on not doing a better job on flushing out, especially when it's one-on-one debates. It's good to get a clear clarity on their position, and then we can make the debate prompt that, because the debate prompt truthfully really didn't fit it, right? It really didn't fit the debate. Now, it did to a degree. I think that I, called them in logical contradictions. Many of them, right? As you've seen in the beginning of the debate, he said that 2 + 2 always equals 2, always equals 2. And then he says that basically, nothing can be correct. 2 plus 2 always equals 2, but nothing can be correct. So he makes two universal claims, which is in contradiction of one another. Because if nothing can be correct, that's universally a universal claim. It's always true that we don't know if something is correct. That's always true, that we have no knowledge if something is correct. Then he also says that, well, number theory, knowledge itself, these are things that has a different ontology than the physical. I asked him to justify it. He gave no justification for it. So all in all, even with me not being fully prepared in the beginning, some little hurdles, I think that towards the middle and the end, it was complete obliteration because his worldview reduces down to nihilism. It reduces down to, well, what's the purpose and meaning of life? Why shouldn't we rape these women? Why shouldn't we murder these children? Why shouldn't we do all of these horrific, bad things? Why shouldn't we do it? Then he says, well, because it isn't beneficial to human reproduction and human survival value. Well, why should we survive and why should humans reproduce if everything is accidental? He gave no justification for it, right? It's like, well, that's a contradiction there. Listen, bros, if everything is accidental, you accidentally up here arguing nothing. It's an accident that your arguments make no sense. It's never correct. It's just like, it's a whole bunch of nothingness. Actually, I think that if I would have known his worldview from the beginning, the debate would have been real short. It would have been like 30 minutes, probably would have had some. I would have prolonged it a little bit. It would have been an hour. I would have had some fun with him. Got him to say some crazy things, which I did already. He pretty much said that, grape can be considered. Grape is not always wrong because there's no such thing as right or wrong. Grape, it is what it is. So should we stop it? No, you don't have to. So it's a worldview that is crazy. Oh, and then the other thing I got him on was the circular arguments. He says, well, Cooley, your argument is circular. I'm totally fine with, I think, once again, there's not any worldview that if you reduce it down to if you fully reduce it down to its smallest decimal, it will be circular. Every worldview reduces down to that. He also demonstrated that his worldview reduces down to that. Yeah, existence is necessary, and it's necessary for existence. How isn't that not circular? Then he tries to make a distinction. Well, yours is making a definition. What? It doesn't have to be a definition, but even if it is, I can say the same thing about yours. Mine is like an empirical, because we can observe this. Wait, what? How is it empirical where you appeal to things that you can't observe? You see how it was he was lying? So it was lies too. A lot of these atheists would be lies. Okay, well, mine isn't a circular because mine is it's empirical. It's empirical. It's we can observe this. We can observe existence, so therefore it's necessary. But for existence to exist, the physical existence has a different category than logic and reason, right? They share a different ontology than the physical. Yeah, it does. Well, is that necessary for that to exist? It's not empirical. Well, he says, well, yeah, it is. That was my last question that I asked him. He said, well, no, it is necessary for those things to exist because without logic and reason, there wouldn't be any existence because things wouldn't be ordered in a logical way. Accidentally. It just didn't make no sense, bro. And then he even agreed. He conceded at the end and said it's incoherent. Listen, man, if it's incoherent, you're not utilizing logic. Right? See that here? See that? So, good debate all in all. That was fun. I actually haven't did a debate like this. This was my first debate, debating a true atheist and non-cognitivist or whatever he says, but pretty much he believes in Homie believes in nothing. Because if everything is belief would take some type of purpose. Like if you really think about things, well, why do you believe? It has to be some purpose for believing, right? It has to be some purpose for believing. But in his worldview, everything is purposeless. There's no purpose to it. Everything is accidental. So it's all just a bunch of crap. It's like if you, my kids be playing, I took my son to Chuck E. Cheese not too long ago. Yeah, like, Cooley, why you take your son to Chuck E. Cheese? Hey, man, he got to experience Chuck E. Cheese too. But it's like when kids are playing in the balls, right? They pause. That was gay. Let me make a different analogy. Pause. That was wild. When kids are playing with like Play-Doh, they be playing with slime. That's what it's like. It's like slime and like, kids be throwing it around. Slime on a wall. That's all it is. It's just Google gob. It makes no sense. And I think I unpacked that at the end very well. So thank you guys for being patient with me to unpack his illogical positions and totally defeated them at the end, right? Sometimes it takes a while, man. Sometimes it takes a while. All right, we got some people still sending some super chats, so I appreciate that. Shout outs to Yo Boy Lean. He says, not here to debate, I'm just here to flame on homeless Piccolo. Who's homeless Piccolo? I'm not sure who's homeless Piccolo, bro. Elaborate, Yo Boy Lean. Elaborate. Let me know what you mean by this. All right. Hey, yo, pause. No Diddy. Yeah. Hey, yo, pause. No Diddy, bro. I see you. How can we get some people up to join the stream tonight since I didn't prepare for it? Usually, I'm be honest. What I do is, wait, we are live right now on Facebook as well, but since I didn't prepare for it, I normally would post something and get a lot of people up here. And I'm not even live on TikTok right now. Being live on TikTok, that normally, entices people to come on over to the YouTube stream and to join, but I'm not live on TikTok. Wait, Kid, I see you back here. Would you want to say something, bro? Let me bring you up. You look like you always want to say something. What you got for me, Wit Kid?
Hey, so, this seemed to work the other night. So, do you know that white people help black people out of slavery?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
That seemed to make a lot of people mad when I said that.
Yeah, let's I'll have to change the title and thumbnail to get people. You know what? Remind me to make a full title of that for Open Panel Debate Night and make a thumbnail just with that. Like I'll make it all letters just with that, just so we can like get people to come in.
Oh, they're gonna be mad.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad.
He was mad. Yo, calm down. So, and it was even worse because when you told him the same point I told him, word for word, he seemed to agree with you on it. But because I'm white and I said it, I seem to be wrong at it. It was like reverse racism.
Oh yeah, that other guy, right?
I feel oppressed. Yeah, I feel oppressed.
Yeah,
this is not okay.
Sometimes it be like that, man. Sometimes it bees like that. Let's bring up Tiger up here. Give him some screen time. What's up, Tiger?
How's it going, man?
Good takes on that.
Yeah, man. Actually, Wicked, you're totally not white, bro. What are you talking about?
Well, according to everybody else, I am. Italians. I wasn't considered a white person, but now I am.
It seems to me that you're white when it's convenient and you're not white when it's convenient.
Well, I guess
hey,
sometimes
fellas,
you just got to play the card, right?
a quick update for you guys. I may be debating Not So Erudite this Friday.
This would be good.
I'll be going to Word Debate. And she's going to be one of the judges, but I'll be debating her Friday before Word Debate with Sean Kelly. I think it's the digital social network. They reached out to me to do a debate with her. But yeah, we'll see if it happens. I'm not even sure what the topic is going to be or anything like that. But if it does happen, I'll see if I can also stream it Friday.
She's like an undercover feminist.
Oh, she's not undercover at all.
No, she's not undercover.
Yeah. What's the
she
prompt?
claim that she's we don't have a prompt yet. Sean Kelly just hit me up about it. He said, yo, are you down to debate Not So Erudite? I said, yeah, I'm down to debate her. He said, this Friday in Atlantic City for a Word War debate. Well, before that, I said, yeah, let's do it, man. So, yeah, man, doesn't she claim that she's like a Christian or something? Or like
yeah.
Her worldview is incoherent.
Is she harm principle? Yeah. She's harm principle, I believe.
She's all over the place. Watch her debate with she debated Jay Dyer and Jim Bob in the same day, I think, on the Whatever podcast.
Yeah, I watched that, and her positions really didn't. It was incoherent. She was all over the place. She would take one position, but then her one position would be in contradiction with her next position, like later down the discussion, just like this gentleman here that I debated.
Yeah, Jay really nailed her to the wall, because their debate was about feminism. And he was like, well, what you're doing is you're making your definition of feminism elastic to suit you. She's just like a professional goalpost mover. You know what I mean? You can't, she just weasels her way out of, I didn't say, you know what I mean? So her definitions are, you could, dude, she's easy work.
I think she likes to use the phrase, it seems to me, which doesn't give her the clear, definite yes or definite no, because she says, it just seems like that. That's kind of a way to weasel out of things.
These feminists and these atheists, they make things very vague. So they don't really want to define things. They don't want to have a clear definition on things. So then they can avoid being held to that standard, right? So that's what they always do. Just like when the last stream where Ben Thorpe was up here. Remember, Ben was up here and he was talking about masculinity. He made masculinity so elastic where it's masculine to wear a dress. I'm like,
it's masculine to
at the same time. He had to attack me personally because I brought out a point where, under his worldview, you would have to accept a guy raping a woman because of the way that he thinks. And then he got real pissed off at that. Yeah. Because under his worldview, you're supposed to think with your testicles as a man, and that's what makes you masculine. And if you do that, then obviously thinking with your testicles would therefore you would be thinking when you're horny, and you would have to be like, hey, I'm horny, I'm going to go do what I want to that woman, and therefore he would be justified under his worldview. He didn't want to. He didn't want to admit that, so therefore he had to that's why he attacked me. Move the argument and move the goalposts. Mm-hmm. But we got a lot of people that just came up here, like 50 more people that just came in. If you want to join the debate, I just did a debate with Tyler from Jubilee, but we opened it up to the floor so anyone can join the stream and debate tonight. Just click the link that's pinned in the YouTube comments. That link is pinned in the YouTube comments, and you can join debate. We can debate about anything that you want. If you're an atheist, that would make for a good debate. If you're a feminist, that would make for a good debate. If you're a leftist, that would also make for a good debate. If you are like a black Hebrew Israelite, that would also make for a good debate. If you are a black victim mindset person, if you believe that the white man owes you reparations and all of this type of stuff, that would also make for a good spirited debate. We welcome all people. We don't discriminate over here. Okay, so yeah, man, with these people that we debate, bro, they always want to they never want to be held down to a definition. And it's also, what is it called again? It's a logical fallacy. It's equivocation. It's equivocation, or sometimes it'll be a word concept fallacy as well that they'll use. Word concept fallacy, or they'll equivocate. They'll use one word and have a definition for it, and then they'll change it. They'll change the definition for the word to fit their argument. So that's all they do. And that's what Ben Thorpe was doing when he was up here debating me on masculinity. He would just change. He was equivocating the entire time. Well, masculinity means this.
oh, well, then it doesn't mean this. And then it doesn't. And then it means, I'm like, well, dang, bro, like it doesn't mean nothing at all. What's going on here?
Hey, if we keep saying Ben Thorpe's name, he might show up, so maybe we should.
Let's get him back. We can get him back up
Well,
here.
yeah,
man.
that's fair. Yeah, let's get
right. Let's get him up here. Let's get, any of these people up here.
Where the Thorpes at?
Yeah, facts. Where the Thorpes at, right? Bring you and your daughter back up here. But I would say when they come up, when they come up, they're not emotional to the point where they'll like fully spurg out and can't they're not sensitive in the emotional way where they're like, oh, well, you're attacking me. No, you attack them, they'll attack right back. And also they'll attack you first and then keep attacking. And over here in Blood Sports Debates, we appreciate that. Why not, right? So that's one thing I would say that, I appreciate about people that come up like that. That's not sensitive, but some people that come up, they're so sensitive. It's like, you got to walk on eggshells to talk to you. Nah, man, get out of here.
Yeah, if nothing else, at least the Thorpes make it controversial, and they get views. They spice it up a little. You know what I mean? So that's always fun. But they're lunatics, but it's still fun to have them up.
Yeah, nah, facts, man. Facts. Hey, man, what you guys thought about the debate?
Wicked, you go ahead. Oh, can't hear you.
He muted himself. Want me to unmute you? Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah, go ahead. No, Wicked, now unmute yourself.
Sorry, my phone was making a lot of noise when we had muted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I had it muted, then you had me muted too. He was decided to start throwing stuff around, so I know it's kind of loud. No, I mean, the debate was good. It was just he kept contradicting himself. He'd say, I don't believe this, but then he would use what he didn't believe as a belief. So that's kind of a little confusing on how you can say, well, this isn't true, and then use what you just said isn't true as a true statement.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
so
it was
a lot of that going on. I mean, as soon as I saw the title, I knew that was kind of going to be an easy W, because everything, if you don't have something to ground your morals in, it's just a preference. And then, it's like people are always saying, well, you could just not do it. Well, how many times we didn't go against God, if we went against God's word, essentially it's just a preference because that's how you feel. But even though we feel a certain way about something, because we go with God's word, we choose not to do those things, which kind of gives you that moral basis.
Am I tripping, or did he actually try to give a justification for the transcendentals, for logic, reason, math, language, theory, knowledge, all of these things? Did he actually try to give a because I didn't even hear a justification. Sometimes when I'm debating,
I heard everything was chance. Everything just happened.
Well, yeah. So therefore, it wasn't a justification. Tiger, what did you hear? Did you hear him even attempt to give some type of justification for it?
Well, I mean, his whole it's his whole worldview is just indifference. He'll say that he's not a nihilist, but he's clearly just a nihilist. And they can't justify anything. Yeah. I asked him if he was a nihilist, and he was like, well, I'm a nihilist apologist, is what he said. It's like, okay, yeah, you're a nihilist.
No,
bro.
when you asked him, he goes, no.
certain things he bit the bullet on it. Yeah, certain things he bit the bullet, which I can appreciate that if you bite the bullet on certain things. But he did not bite the bullet that his argument was circular.
I mean, at the very least, he was definitely good faith. He wasn't here troll. He wasn't a Spurg machine. I think he really does believe the things that he says, and that's cool. But I mean, and maybe we're incorrect, but he's definitely incorrect. It's just there's no, you know what I mean? It's not. I don't know. I just can't get down with the whole nihilist thing.
So it is clear that he actually didn't. He actually didn't even attempt to justify it, right? That is clear, because I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, okay, I didn't hear a justification of anything.
Yeah, his
Not
whole
even a
point is that nothing
justification.
can be justified, right?
Well, that's what I was getting to. That's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
And since it can't be justified under his worldview, like I was like, bro, it's just magic. Then you believe in magic? Like magic is things that can't be justified. So like, all right. So how's it crazy for me to believe in God? And I gave a justification by using the transcendentals, but he gives no justification for the transcendentals. He doesn't ground the transcendental in anything. And then also when it's morality, he attempted to make a distinction that morality is in a different category than logic, reason, and all of these things. But then he took it back. But then he said it again. He said, well, morals would be feelings. All right, so feelings is within the biology. So then how do we make like these moral claims? Is it just all, of the physical? And then he's like, well, yeah, but when people make moral claims, they make knowledge claims because that's what they're making. They're making a truth claim. So if they're making this truth claim, but this truth claim is coming from their feelings, their biology, or is it coming from a transcendental category that isn't physical? And he didn't bridge that gap. He attempted to, but he didn't bridge the gap.
I think they just get it from a consensus, whatever the group feeling is. It seems, at least for me, that's what it seemed like to him, because it's like, okay, well, that this is wrong and this is wrong. Okay, well, murder is wrong and killing, stealing is wrong. He was giving examples, but he couldn't justify it. It was just because everybody thinks it.
Yeah, murder and stealing is wrong because we all agree that it is, and that's just the ad populum fallacy, right?
Yeah, but the reason why I didn't go that way, because I didn't go that route. Like I was attempting to go there when I was bringing up like murder, death, kill, and steal, and all of that type of stuff. I was attempting to go there, but then I remembered that you don't even have to go there because he doesn't even believe that the good and the bad exist at all. Right. So he believed that it's just our emotions, right? So if it's just our emotions, which is the physical, that's when I was asking him, how is the morality? Where's the distinction between the morality and the knowledge if you're always making a knowledge claim, a truth claim, when you have this feeling?
Yeah, I mean, and that's where I got caught. What really got my attention was the whole.
We need Jim Bob up here. Where's Jim Bob at?
Wouldn't it be great if Jim Bob showed up? That would be cool.
I should message Jim Bob. I'm sure he'll.
Did you meet
him in person? Yeah,
you met him at DebateCon.
Yeah, I spoke to Jim Bob. Jim Bob, he said that he's down to do some debates on the channel. So, we need Jim Bob up here, man. Where's Jim Bob at?
Yeah, Jim Bob, Andrew, Rachel, get them all up.
I will say one thing throughout the whole debate: to see Dane actually sit there and not say anything was actually pretty impressive. That was actually pretty impressive. Yeah. So I do have to give it to Dane for that.
Dane is still back here. Dane is still back here.
I do have to give it to him for that.
Dane was ready to explode that whole
I know he
time.
was. Dane, I seen it inside you. I saw it in your eyes. Your beard was coming out.
Asshole.
See that vein in Dane's forehead, just getting ready to. Yeah.
Really, there was several times that I had to recollect back to Cooley's debate he had where Destiny was moderating it, and Destiny kept getting involved. I had to keep reminding myself, "Don't be Destiny, don't be Destiny." Let me throw this out real quick, and then I'm gonna have to break camp, go do some other stuff. But with the dude with Tyler though, reality is like. We believe it or not, we need people with that kind of as wrong as it is, mindset, who can set aside their emotions and focus on the numbers and the data and the facts and stuff like that. It's just that, just like people who were on the other end of the IQ scale, the ones who just sit and rock and drool and lick windows and stuff. You don't want to have too many people like that because then society gets unhealthy. On that end of the scale that Tyler seems to be on, when you get to a certain intellectual level, then the concept that we have of morality, like real tangible morality, it just dissipates in their mind. And you think, well, that's crazy. That's a dangerous person. They could go around, we end up with things like Hirohito and, World War II, Europe, stuff like that. So that's why it's so important for guys like the four of us to this saying that people say sometimes, there's two things you should never talk about: religion and politics. That's why that is such a lie. Because
that's the two things you should talk about.
We need to be able to stand up and defend our worldview, because if we don't, then see, the problem with people with Tyler's worldview, and his, not just his worldview, but his cognition, is if they ever receive like state power or community power to where they can, and that's what happened back in World War II. That's what happened in Soviet Russia. That's what happens in other despotic countries. It's when the calculator decides what we're going to do and not what is morally right or wrong.
Right. Like if we don't seize power, if Christians don't rule, if we don't seize power and we're going to be ruled, right? They're going to rule us. Mm.
I mean, even people who may not even be a Christian, they may be atheist or some other religion. If they could actually somehow or another claim to have a moral system, and even if they're borrowing from us, but they do believe that right is right and wrong is wrong. But when you get to a certain scientific level, I'd be interested to know what the guy does for a living. To a certain scientific level, it's like you lose the ability to conceive of things that are social.
Well, that's because they're book smart. It's hard to be book smart and street smart.
I don't think it's any of that. I think that they just want to rebel. These people have a rebellious spirit, and they want to rebel against the things that they know to be true. They just want to rebel. It's a very it's a feminine mindset as well. It's very feminine. It isn't masculine. Women want to rebel. Women want to say no just because.
It's feelings based.
And not only that, what it also is, the reason why they want to rebel is because they want to have an excuse to do degeneracy, and they don't want to be accountable. Like, women don't like to be accountable, which is why they don't want to have clear definitions for things, which is why they're okay in saying that, oh yeah, I'm totally aware that the statements that I'm making is incoherent. I catch them in three logical performative contradictions. That's totally fine. I totally point out that, well, your argument is circular too. No, well, you had a circular definition. No, this is your position. Your position doesn't matter if it's definitional, positional, whatever it is, it's still circular. And he didn't want to concede. Think about it. The reason why he didn't want to concede to anything, that is a feminine trait. When he even said, hey, well, that's circular, I said, yeah, I know it is. I'm totally fine with that being circular, because I believe that every worldview reduces down to circular to some degree, right?
Oh, certainly.
Certainly. So, I point out he didn't want to admit to it. I'm like, Brad, this is crazy. You are a woman.
Yeah, all denial of God.
Be accountable, bro. I take accountability.
All denial of God ultimately comes back to rebellion. I mean, that's true. But
because these things are written on our hearts. We do, to an extent, know like what is right and wrong, in our hearts, right? It's written on our hearts, like God did that. How we can't have a sense of right and wrong without, now I'm kind of rambling. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I'm figuring I have to get off here anyway. But back in the 90s, there was I wasn't friends with this guy, but he was somebody in the little group of friends back when I was in my 20s. And he was literally a rocket scientist over at the Stennis Space Center over around Gulfport and Long Beach and stuff there close to Louisiana, Mississippi. And this dude was off the charts. I mean, he was literally a rocket scientist for NASA, but you couldn't really even hardly tolerate trying to have a conversation with him, because he was it was all numbers and facts and figures. But when it came to that social, pseudo-emotional kind of a connection with people, it was like you were just dealing with a wet robot. I mean, he would offend people. He would say crazy. You really couldn't connect.
Yeah, they don't. People who are very book smart and extremely smart like that, they don't have social skills. They're not street smart. They lack that I guess relating somehow. You know what I mean? Because everything they do so much, it's just facts and numbers and okay, well, this is true, and they don't have that. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. I guess I guess it would be relation to other people, because all they do is study and they read and read and read and look up stuff. They don't really interact with other people to kind of get
Right.
cues
Their
and
best
understand.
friends. Their best friends are books and facts and figures and numbers and stuff. You know,
Mhm.
that's why. But what Cooley was saying, I think is true that it all goes back to rebellion. But I just think they get to a certain level of education or intellect or whatever, and then in a sense, it's that, you know, like Scripture says that Lucifer said, "I will ascend up above the clouds and establish my throne above God's." And I think that's where they end up, you know, getting to. So it all is rebellion. But I think one reason the guy kept apologizing and thinking, that kind of strikes me as something he's learned in his life to do, to sort of fill the gaps that he misses in actually being able to relate to other human beings.
Who you talking about?
Tyler.
Oh, okay. Well, you said he kept apologizing.
Yeah. He said every time that he would go to speak to the chat, or he would talk about being
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
show,
yeah.
he would
Yeah.
kind of fall over himself, and he would apologize to chat for rambling or everything, and he was just very overly polite. I just think it was.
You know what the problem is? I think it's because I don't think we've ever had a good faith debater debate Cooley. So to actually get one, it seems really weird to us right now.
Yeah, we don't know how to react to it.
Yeah, we don't know how to react to it. You know what I mean?
So with that, we got to give him a shout out to Tyler for at least being, you know.
Yeah, listen, he was completely good faith.
But that's the thing. Good faith to a degree, because he did not concede on his position being circular.
So I think the debate was good faith. I just think his pride wouldn't let him do that. So I think the debate he had and his intentions were good faith, but his pride just wouldn't let him concede the debate to a certain point.
Well, I mean, he's also smart. He knows that there's entertainment value here. You know, a large part of this is entertainment, and you're not just going to be like, oh yeah,
he knows
5 minutes into the debate, I know I've lost, but I'm not going to be like, okay, I lost. That's it. Good night, you guys. You know, it's been 5 minutes, right? He's got to, you know, duke it out for a little while, right? You know, so.
Yeah, and I would say that it was. In the beginning, it was a good back and forth, because it was me trying to understand his worldview. And then also, he didn't really critique my worldview in a sense where he critiqued it and found any contradictions or anything like that. It was more of a asking questions.
Yeah, it was questioning it, not
it was
trying
just questioning it. But like, and that's the thing, like I'm used to like the blood sport debate. Like if they're questioning it, it's a question for a reason to catch you in something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when every question that I was asking was to try to pin them down to catch them on something. You know what I'm saying?
Because you already know the answer.
Yeah, because I know the answer, but I think that he really couldn't say like, well, you can't, because he never demonstrated how I can't ground my morality in God. Right. So therefore, I automatically win the debate itself, because he didn't demonstrate that how it can't be grounded in God. He just says that he just thought that it can't be grounded at all, but he never demonstrated how it can't be grounded in God. So even within the prompt itself, it was an L on his part. But I would say that I do have to take accountability though, man, because myself and my assistant could have done a better job of getting a position. I'll be honest, bro. What we do is I tell my assistant to just email, DM everybody that's on the Jubilee channel. So we don't even care about their worldview, right? We don't even care. It's all about, we send them multiple messages, copy and paste messages to their Instagram, to their TikToks, to their Facebook accounts, wherever social media accounts they have. We reach out to them. And then if they say, yes, they want to debate, we give them prompts on what topics to debate about. And also we ask them for their worldview. So what's your worldview? Are you atheist? Are you left? Are you right? We go ahead and ask that. Then once they ask, so I did look at the messages right before we came backstage, because even Dane, he can agree. We were like, oh wait, so you just like don't believe that it can be grounded at all. I was like, all right, well, we needed a totally different prompt for this. So then I looked in the messages back then, and I'm like, well, he actually didn't say that. He's agreed to do the debate, and he also said that he was an atheist and all of these other things. So I'm like, okay, well, this should be good then. But the thing is, he believes that logic and reason and these other transcendental categories can be grounded, but morality isn't, and he never made a clear distinction between that at all.
Well, ultimately, he does believe in good and bad. He just
he do.
uses that feminine wordplay, and he says beneficial or not beneficial. That's what he says.
Yeah,
So
which
he
is the
uses a
same
different
thing,
word.
right? Yeah.
And not even
Sorry,
that,
go ahead.
but who's to say how does he know what's beneficial for somebody else?
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
the standard for beneficial or non-beneficial? Beneficial is a synonym for good. So it's like, okay,
should've-
these things, murder is not beneficial to society. Well, how come? How do you know
We
that?
should ask him about Papua New Guinea, see if that was beneficial.
Well,
Yeah,
no, he would have. So the thing is, since he kept going, I would say he was consistent. He was consistent to the fact where he was consistent on his position that there's no such thing as good and bad. So since he's consistent on that, then me bringing up Papua New Guinea, just like when I was bringing up like murder and killing and stuff like that, it wasn't like he was just like he bit the bullet on it all. He bit the bullet. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
it
like, yeah,
happens,
it could happen.
He has to bite
It's
the bullet.
okay.
He just bites the
It's
bullet.
okay, no problem. Sure.
It's like he said his degree is in philosophy. Well, a lot of my degree field involved philosophy, so I can kind of understand that. But the difference is guys like me and like y'all, like we understand philosophical concepts and teachings and stuff, but those concepts inform our behavior and our understanding and concept of reality. It seems like with him, that's not the case. You know, he has these philosophical ideas or lack thereof, but they don't inform or influence what he thinks or how he lives his life. And that's where that disconnect is at. And so that's why he has to turn and borrow from our worldview when he needs to do something and decide, is this a good moral thing of behavior to do or not? You know, I just don't think those two things are connected in his head. That's why he kept saying he was a, what he say, non-cognition or cognitivist
Non-cognitivist, yeah.
it just means that
non-cognitivist.
his ideas of morality or reality or whatever doesn't involve what goes on in his head. It just involves what he can count, I guess.
Yeah,
and
you're 100% correct. It
Yeah.
really is. These people's worldview is literally Christianity minus God and Jesus plus Coom. You know what I mean?
Well, I
It's
think-
literally what it is. It's so
Well, I think
sad.
it was,
It's like you borrowed it all from us, right?
Well, I
Go
think
ahead.
it was what? I think it was Dennis Prager who said, if you believe in nothing, you'll believe in anything.
Well, it's like you can go. I used to challenge atheists a lot back in the day. I would challenge them to go anywhere on the planet. You know, these atheists they're not just non-believers, but they're anti-Christian. And I say, go to any place on the planet and point me to a country that wasn't a part of Christendom or wasn't occupied, birthed from, or something by a Christendom nation. Find me one of those that enjoys the standard of living and human rights that we do in the West. You can't find it.
It doesn't exist.
Anywhere you find a civilization that has a standard of living we have and the protection of rights and stuff that we have, it's going to be a nation that descended from the nations of Christendom. But it's because those non-believing cultures, they don't have a reason to respect your rights. See, we respect one another's rights ultimately, whether these
because we think.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No.
I was going to say
you get to the point.
because we believe that we human beings are the image bearers of God. So I
Yeah.
respect your rights as a person because you carry that image. So I'm respecting God. I can't respect God and violate you. So that's why these atheists, when you ask them, what was wrong with chattel slavery before the Civil War? They don't have any definitive way to ground that.
Yeah.
So this guy's position to avoid that is just to say, well, I can't say that I actually believe that it was
He
wrong
says
or
that.
not.
He says it is what it is.
And so you can't really have any substantive discussion or debate with someone when their entire worldview is descriptive. He's just describing things, but he doesn't have any prescriptions at all. He's just describing what that's blue,
And
that's red.
And I think during the end of the debate where I was cooking, right, when he said, "Well," I said, "Well, is that correct?" And then I was like, he's like, "Well, no, by correct, I don't mean like, right or wrong." I'm like, "Oh, you don't? You mean like actually correct? But everything is also accidental. Accident, like, is just an accident, and it's just relative, and it's just random events occurring. That's what you believe in. So then, is it actually correct?" He bit the bullet. He says no. When he said that, That's when I was cooking and I was bringing up all of these analogies and I pointed out the contradictions.
I think your hardest point you hit him with was when you asked if logic was really like truth, like if there's any, if it just happens.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, that was exactly.
That was the hardest part. I think he literally had nothing to say after that, which is a very strong point. It's like, how can you say everything's accidental, but you can believe in logic?
Yeah, and believe in logic. Well, if is it accidental? Is it? Well, yeah, he even said, well, I don't believe that logic is an accident. He said, I really don't know. He was like, man, that's a hard question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the nail in the coffin right there was when he was like, well, I don't know, because he had an answer for everything else. He might not admit to what you said.
To having the, but he
that was the one thing that he definitely couldn't answer back to you of, well, I got nothing there.
Yeah.
So that was really the point where I think where he was like, maybe I might be wrong, because if that has to be true and he kept saying it's true, then these other things would possibly have to be true.
Yeah, that broke his guard.
Yeah, when I said, are the laws of logic accidental? I even wrote it down. So I'm like,
yep, right there. Yeah, that was word for word. That's what it was. I didn't know what you said word for word, but it was under the basis of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that your analogy about a recipe really was good, Wicked. But I think that his mind, he's just thinking so, I guess, scientifically. I don't think he ever got it. But the idea of correct, when he say, well, when Cooley was hitting him about what was correct. I mean, as well as I do as a chef, like if you're making biscuits, there's a correct amount of time to knead that biscuit. And if you knead it too long, it'll turn into a hockey puck. Just because someone might like chomping on a hockey puck biscuit doesn't mean that's correct. You and I understand that. His claim would be that a biscuit's a biscuit. It doesn't make any difference, that you just do whatever you want. He just doesn't understand.
Corey, come on up. Now, I was just going to say, we got like people in the chat. Like, listen, man.
Everybody's talking shit in the chat. Yeah, let's
listen, if you guys have different opinions and a different position than what we have, click the first link that's pinned in the comments, man. You don't got to type. You can just click the stream. You can join with your phone on a laptop. I'll bring you right up.
Yeah, we're all having a big circle jerk right now. We need to get somebody up here who disagrees with us, right?
Yeah, facts, man, facts.
What's up, Tim?
We got Tim M. He joins the member for 20 months. Look at Tim M supporting. He says, shout outs to Cooley and the podcast crew. My bad. I missed the debate. I had 24-hour duty yesterday, so I've been asleep all day, man. Well, appreciate your service, Tim M. I appreciate your service,
Tim. Yeah.
Tim, we were wondering why Cooley didn't get no videos today. We thought something was wrong.
You know what? I do got, so with Tim M, Tim M sends me so many videos that I have to at least click on it before, because they'll have music in it and I don't want to get a copyright strike. Like Tim M, I don't think he reviews it before he sends it. He'd be like, oh, this funny. Oh, this good. Let me send it to Cooley. Like he doesn't review it.
Yeah, he probably figures that I'm gonna send Cooley a bunch of stuff, and if he reacts to 1 out of 10 things, then I'm a success.
Yeah,
right?
I've contributed to the show.
Yeah.
There's this guy that lives locally here, and he has 100,000 plus subscribers, and I have no idea why. But he goes live several times a day. I've sent you a few of his little clips in Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, I peeped that.
He's huge. This dude, I'm 6'3". He's probably 3 or 4 inches taller than me. I met him in my barbershop, but he's an interesting guy to talk to if you can get past the loose, casual way he talks. But in one of his videos I was watching today, he was talking about reparations. And he said, because he's very much a MAGA dude, even though he's a huge black guy. And he said, ask me, do I believe we ought to get reparations? He said, I'm black. Of course I'd like to have reparations. They give me the money. He said, I'm buying me a Cadillac with the rims and the sound system and everything.
That's true. I said the same thing. I said the same thing. Listen, if they want to go ahead and give black people reparations, listen, I know my great grandmother was a slave. So I could actually track my lineage back to being a foundational American. So with that being said, if they go ahead and handing out these checks, listen, Who am I? And matter of fact, I'm still not changing my argument. I'm gonna be like, I deserve reparations, but maybe some of you other niggas didn't deserve reparations.
I was watching the debate video today. I think it was a Jubilee debate, but it may not have been. But it was one of those style, and it was black conservative women and black liberal women. And one of the black conservative women said that she said it would be one of the biggest boosts to the U.S. economy ever if they give us reparations. She said, because everybody knows that we can't manage money and we spend all that money in like a month, it boosts the economy. And then I thought to myself, I probably would too. So maybe I'm black and don't know it, you know.
Listen, most people will.
Dane, we're Irish,
thing.
right? So doesn't that make us basically black? Can we get reparations too? Right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. But Cooley, are you familiar with Chad O. Jackson?
Nah.
He's an interesting guy. He's a conservative black guy. He's done some documentaries on Dr. King, actually. His position on Dr. King is not what you would presume with him being a 30-something-year-old black guy, but might be somebody you might check out. I think you and him would have some interesting conversations if you brought him on stream. He's actually
you mean like a debate, or we would share the same view?
I think he would be real good, especially for a lot of your followers, if you brought him on almost as like an interview.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, send me his information.
Yeah, like something,
after.
something he said I didn't know was that Dr. King, his name he was given when he was born was Michael. Michael, and his daddy was Michael, but his dad in the 30s went to Europe and got exposed to Lutheranism and socialism, and his dad understood that, hey, Luther did this to the Catholic Church. I'm going to go back to the U.S. and do this to the Christians. To the American Christian sort of setup. He came back to the U.S. Martin Luther Sr. did, changed his name to Martin Luther because he admired Martin Luther.
So he made a correlation.
He did.
Yeah.
It's really an interesting thing. I've seen you a link to his content. Chad O. Jackson is actually a plumber. He owns a big plumbing contracting business, but he does this kind of on the side. But it's a documentary. He put out one called Uncle Tom and Uncle Tom 2 and stuff like that. I've seen the link. It's really interesting. I think it'd be interesting for a lot of your followers to hear the information he's given.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. I don't mind reaching out to him. We could do something like that. We got Yo Boy Liam sends him $5. We got the whole gang here: the mysterious meth head, Triple H, homeless Piccolo, and a guy that knows how to catch a pig with his hands.
Who's who?
Well, you're going to be homeless Piccolo. I'm going to be Triple H, obviously. And
I'm homeless Piccolo. What?
Yeah. Listen.
Mysterious meth head is definitely you, Tyga. And then,
is it because I'm white? I'm the meth head because I'm white.
Listen,
okay. All right.
Listen, all we know is that Yo Boy Lean blows on his hot Cheetos before he eats them. Okay, so it don't matter.
I always thought that Tyga looked a lot more like Rocky the Squirrel from Rocky and Bullwinkle, that old cartoon back in the day. It's the headphones, but as far as the one who could catch a hog with his bare hands, I actually have caught quite a few hogs before, hung them in a tree and put them in the freezer. But for the
don't surprise me.
For the record, Deidre Snyder was 95 pounds when I met her. Okay, so don't be starting no rumors.
All right, well, listen, fellas, good conversation. Looks like we're not getting nobody back here. I was like waiting to.
They all talk in the chat, but they're always scared to come up. It's
Tyga
so
sent
hilarious.
in $10. Tyga wanted some attention. I'm like, you know why not, Tyga? You always supporting. Why don't I?
Here's what
you
I
support
know.
me.
Yeah,
I
thank
support
you for that,
you.
Cooley.
Right?
Thank
I
you for
support
that.
you. So
I got
I'm
a
like,
question.
we might as well wait and see if we can get some liberals or some feminists up here or something like that. But go ahead, Dane. What's your question?
I got a question for Tyga because he comes and goes real quick. I don't get a chance to talk to him very much, so I'm just wondering, Tyga, a couple of quick questions. Is there a woman you live with? Do you have a woman?
I do, yeah.
So she don't let you come in the house when you come on stream. She got you out there in the lawnmower shed. What's up, man?
No, it's just like, I can't, I'm addicted to cigarettes. So like, I can't smoke cigarettes and that. And like, I associate debate with cigarettes, it's just like a brain thing. And like, I can't smoke in the house. So
look, man,
Fair enough.
get you a step stool, climb up on it, look her in the eye while you're up there and tell her I'm sitting in the kitchen like Wicked does.
Right.
Well,
I'm
like
in the kitchen
you
because I'm
know,
always cooking, bro.
Wicked's a chef. I mean, but you know, I could, like, honestly, I really could, and you
Prove it.
know,
Prove it.
she's not gonna. Well, the thing is like I don't want to, you know,
Dane is
the
funny.
house.
Prove it. Prove that you have authority in your own house.
The
Dane is
house
funny.
is
Tiger.
sacred, you know. I
Take your
don't want to be
balls, you know.
smoking in there. It's just kind of gross to smoke in
up.
there, you know.
Get
I,
up
you know,
Tiger,
right
you're not
now.
thinking with your testicles, bro. You're not thinking with your
Yes.
balls. You're not being
Get up.
masculine. You know, you got to
Get
think with
up.
your
Hey,
balls.
hey, Tiger, over here we don't compromise. We don't negotiate with
Yeah.
terrorists.
Yeah. Get up right now. Prove it. Get up
This is
right
a
now.
dictatorship around here.
Take
Hey,
your
Okay.
no,
phone.
listen, it's not
Take-
because, listen, she smokes cigarettes too. It's not because she said, you can't smoke cigarettes in the house, Tiger. You can't do that. It's because I set the standard. Like, okay, I'm not going to do that to my house. I'll smoke cigarettes in the garage.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you
Look,
go. Good,
look,
good,
no.
good,
There
good
you go.
comeback.
Go
Good
in the
comeback.
house
Good comeback.
right now. Put your size 6.5 foot down and tell her I'm in the house now. This is where
I'll
I'm
have
steaming
you
and smoking.
know I'm a size 9, sir. Okay. But yeah, no, I'm not
Sorry.
smoking cigarettes in the house.
Look, I'm talking about tennis shoes, not them stilettos you wear in your private time.
Not the heels.
Mm-mm. Anyway, I
Yeah,
got the
I'm
fly
talking about
guys.
that too. Yeah, I'm a size 9. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
short king. I'm a short king,
It's
but I'm
hard
not,
for-
I ain't no bitch either. All right.
It's hard for me to find my heels in a size 13, man.
Size 9 is his
stiletto-
pants.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, fellas. Pause, man.
Yeah.
Pause. God dang. See, listen, when you get a
Pause.
bunch of white people up here, they start making gay. White people always resort to making like a gay position, some gay claim. Come on, man. It's not the size in his pants. Like that's what's,
No,
that's
not
what's
the size
wrong.
in his pants. It's the size of.
I don't know if I heard that.
9
No,
inches
trust
is
me.
pretty accurate though. But yeah, moving on.
Fair enough.
It's
Fair
up.
enough. Listen, fellas, good having you guys up. Appreciate you guys supporting. If anyone is wondering, the reason why they're up chopping it up with me, because we were waiting for people to come up to debate, and these are members. They subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the membership, and this is one of the privileges that you get. So if you support me, become a member, and you can be one of these guys, and you can come on up and debate. You can even be a moderator. Hey, I have 3 more debates actually that's going to be coming up. I was speaking with Tiger about this too. I have Tiger do the next one. Wicked, you never did one. You want to moderate?
So if it's on a Monday, I can because that's my day off. You know, Monday
If
or
it's on a
Wednesday.
Monday, you
my
can.
day. Yeah, Monday, Wednesday,
Okay.
I can because those are my days off. Other than that, I'm working, man. I work 60 hours a week.
Got it. Well, what I'll do is once I have the schedule down, like a date fully, and it may actually be, I got so many DMs I got to go through. We actually may have a date already planned, but I'm going to go ahead and look through that, and I'll go ahead and text all 3 of you, and
Yeah.
whoever
Just let me know.
schedule matches up and want to do it, we'll go ahead and get it done. But Dane, appreciate you, man. Good job moderating this debate.
Appreciate
you
you
did
having me.
perfect.
Definitely good job tonight, Dan.
Perfect, man.
Appreciate
But other
that.
than that, man, I'll go ahead and put you guys backstage, and we'll go ahead and start wrapping up.
All right.
All right, y'all be safe.
Wait,
man.
who's this person? Hold up.
Uh-oh.
How old are you? You gotta be 18.
24, man. 24.
No.
Yeah,
You
24,
gotta
bro.
be 18, bro. I'm gonna kick you off stream if you're not 18. How old are you?
Oh, he gay.
There you go.
He gay.
All right, yeah.
He
Yeah,
gay.
he's young.
He gay.
He
That's
needs
gay.
his daddy too. His
He like
daddy
16
ain't-
and gay.
His daddy
That
ain't
was
in
like-
the house either.
That was like
He
an
don't know his
Ahego face. That was
Yeah,
weird.
he don't know who his dad is.
Oh man. What?
All right,
has
yeah,
the world
Cooley,
come
kick us
to?
off and wrap the show, dude. Let's get out of
Yeah,
here.
let's wrap up, man.
Have fun.
I'm headed to the Waffle House, man. Get me some dinner, man. Y'all be safe.
Peace, man. Be safe. All right, let's see. Hey, Dell, I'm wrapping up. He said, Dell says, how are you? We could debate feminism in the future. Yeah, Dell, your stance on feminism, it was very loose. It wasn't like the definition did not appeal to how feminism came about. So therefore, you just have a different definition for feminism, which you shouldn't even call it feminism. You should probably call it like something else. Hey, Tyler, that little kid came up. Tyler, I see you backstage, man. If you're 18, you can't come up on stream, man. Right? You can't have you up on stream. That is against TOS for YouTube. Can't have little kids up here on stream. So yeah, man. Sorry, can't have you up. You would actually have to show me your ID now for me to allow you up, Tyler. I see you backstage. I can see you. So if you show me your ID that you're actually of age, I'll go ahead and bring you up. But looks like he isn't doing that. But anyways, appreciate everyone that's tuned in for this debate. I think it was a good one. Complete obliteration. Cooked homie, bad. And it was my first time actually doing one of these precept debates. The arguments that I used was all based off of precepts. To get into what Tyler, the person that I was debating, the things that he presupposed, because his entire worldview assumes all of these things. Like, think about it. If you have a worldview that assumes something and you can't make a justification for it, therefore it's magic, right? You believe in magic. Well, you can't make a justification for that. It just is what it is. Like logic, reason, knowledge, math, 2 + 2 always equaling 2. Well, yeah, it always equals 2. But he can't justify any of this because he can't give an account for it. His worldview does not allow him to. So I think all in all was good. I'll talk to him backstage through DMs to see if we can set up another debate where then you guys won't experience like that. It's like, well, Dad, Cooley, you didn't really even give an opening here. And like, it was kind of rocky for us, like trying to get some sense of our worldview. He didn't understand my worldview at all, which I thought that he would at least understand that. And then it took me a little bit of time to fully flush out his worldview. And sometimes it's like that anyway. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I think that the debate did go great because even when you think that you understand someone's worldview, they'll like move the goalpost so much and equivocate and do so many different like little strategies. So therefore, like, because they don't want to be held down to anything. That's pretty much like what's natural for these atheists and these feminists, right? That's like something that's common for them to do since they don't want to be like held down to anything because they don't want to be accountable for anything. Since that's the case, sometimes it just takes a little bit to fully flush out their worldview. And I think I did an excellent job on it all. But at the end of the day, no one's perfect. And I'll review this debate like I review all of my other ones. And I'll be like, okay, I needed to do that better. I need to fix that. I need to do that better. Because over here, we got to keep it no Fugazee. We're all flawed individuals. We all can be better and do better. So that's what we strive towards over here. Listen, little kid, why is it little kids joining the stream? This is crazy. All right, well, this podcast is No Fugazee. Hit the like button before you go. Oh, yeah, let me give you guys a quick update. So today's Monday, January 5th. The next open debate night is going to be Wednesday. So Wednesday, we're doing open debate night. Then I will be in Atlantic City on the Digital Social Hour or Digital Social podcast with, I think his name is, forgot his name. Anyways, but I'll be doing that podcast and I'll be in Atlantic City. I may be debating Not So Erudite in Atlantic City. I'm not sure what we'll be debating on, but I'm waiting to hear back from the Digital Social Hour or the Digital Social Network. I'm waiting to hear back from him to see what exactly the topic of that debate is going to tell. And sorry, that's Sean Kelly. So Sean Kelly, waiting to hear back from him. And then so we got that. So we got Wednesday, we got Friday, and then we got Saturday. Saturday is going to be a full panel dating and relationship show. So listen, man, we do it all here. We do debates, we do dating and relationship shows, we do everything here, man. Politics, talk culture, talk do philosophical debates. We do political debates. We do all type of debates, man. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if you already haven't. But other than that, this podcast was cool. Appreciate you, and I'm out.
No Fugazee.
And y'all see the suit too, man. Listen, new studio, new podcast by the spirit, not by the letter. Bro, we can go verse for verse all day long. Doing new things. Men are okay with understanding the reality that we are in competition with one another. But you ladies think that you're special. You are in comfort. Men are men of their word. So here's my word. I'll fly you out here and we can do it in person. And after that, we could box. I'm about my business. So remember I said, when I ask you these questions, I will dismantle your entire argument. That's the end of the debate, my dog.
I'm 39, but I don't look your typical 39.
Belly,
Yeah.
you look 39. It's okay
Shut
though. That man isn't intimidated by a woman like you. He's annoyed by a woman like you. Because a man doesn't want to date another man. He wants to date a woman.